Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Carl Shigowan. This is the Goblin Cave, and we are back with our second Cthulhu horror one-shot for the Halloween week, and we are all dressed up this time. We're going to have a little bit of fun, a little bit of horror. We've got a much more mixed up cast today. We have half of the Children of the Marsh, and we've got half of the Rusty Daggers. And so, hi everybody.
Hey.
Oh,
how's it going, fellas? Welcome.
And the
Kipper and
accents.
Sons Detective Agency. Oh yeah, I'm talking like this for the entire. I'm not fucking breaking character for the entirety of the time we're alive. I swear to you, right here, right fucking now. As long as I'm in costume, I'm in character.
We'll try. So welcome. Welcome. A little bit of our normal paperwork or normal bits and pieces before we start. The music, the audios we're listening to is from Syrinscape. They are amazing. We're not using just the fantasy Syrinscape, which we usually will be using. We're also using the sci-fi Syrinscape, which is where you get most of the Call of Cthulhu and modern day stuff. So this is the 1920s speakeasy background from the sci-fi version, and we'll also go to the sci-fi, so the fantasy one, because there's a sound set in there which is just perfect for this adventure, which I use. You may have heard it before. I know the cast members, at least 2 cast members here, have heard it before, and it's the Haunted House, because that's totally what we're going to be doing, because this is the Haunted House. Yay. The other thing is we'll do the donations are slightly different this week. If you donate out of game, which, well, we're live, so it's too late now, but if you donate out of game, then you can give donations to everybody in every show that hasn't happened. But we're live now, so if you donate now, you're donating to all the cast at once if you don't do a hashtag of who you want to donate to, or you can do a hashtag of one specific person. They get double the effect. How that works is we start at D4, so if with $1 or 100 bits, everybody will get a D4 for luck, and everybody's going to need luck, because this is going to be a Cthulhu game where you either go insane or you die, and we had both of that yesterday. Although we actually had some person go insane and then kill someone, so it kind of evened itself out. It was one or the other. So how that works is the players can then use that luck to kind of just get a little bit better on a roll. If they've just missed out, the luck, they can spend their luck or actually burn the luck to then improve it, so they can make that successful roll and they can get the check and they can get what they need, because again, insanity or death are the only 2 options here. So that's kind of how the donations work, and the donations scale up. So it starts with D4, goes to D6, D8, D10, D12. If it goes past D12, everyone's going to be losing a little bit of sanity. So, but then we reset again. So there's a risk of going too high, and that's pretty much how we're going to do. So we're going to have some of our familiar cast, and we'll do some introductions. So Capri Sunny D, who are you, and who's the person you're kind of playing?
Hey, how's it going? First of all, I'm talking here. My name is Edric. Edric Light. You can call me L Light, Edric. Just don't call me, just don't say anything about my mama. My mother, she be a lady. I'm a paranormal and private investigator. So, you got any problems, you come to me. I'll find out what's going on.
Amy, who are you playing today?
Well, hi, I'm playing Muggsy. Everyone just calls me Muggsy. I'm the assistant here at the firm. Nice to meet you.
And we have Sky.
How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm the owner of this fine establishment. My name is Detective Jonathan Kipper, and I own the esteemed detective agency Kipper and Sons Private Investigations. If you need your crimes to find out, if you have anything weird going on, if you're looking for missing people, any of the above, and more, you come to me and I'll get you hooked up. I'll sort you out nice and good. Used to be a boxer. I know my way around the streets, but don't let these tough muscles fool you. I've got a good brain on my shoulders, and I can find out stuff you ain't even thought of.
Okay, so normally this stage we do our last time on, but well, we don't have a last time on. This is a one shot, so we're going to lay the scene instead. Now, just as a thing. Oh boy, yeah. So just as a heads up, this is 1920s America, in Boston. The themes that we're going to be exploring are historical themes, are their setting themes. They don't represent necessarily the attitudes of the players or the channel. It's just the attitudes of the time, which is very different from the more enlightened time that we find ourselves in these days.
Folks in 1920, there are no woke folks in 1920s, all right? And also, please, forgive the anachronistic sunglasses. I couldn't find anything else that fit the era, but these just make me look like such a fucking detective. How could I not? Also, yeah, as I said, not breaking fucking character.
Yeah. But I just wanted to put that out front to 1920s, not woke. Totally not woke. We're a bit more enlightened now.
All sleeping here. We
try to have an inclusive and open channel. Just wanted to put that out right at the start. Okay, so let's start our adventure. So the landlord, Mr. Knock, asked you to examine an old house at 31 Chelton Street in central Boston, known as the Corbett House. The former tenants, the Macario family, were involved in a tragedy, and the owner wishes to understand the mysterious happenings at the house and set matters straight. Mr. Knott has been unable to rent the house since the tragedy and hopes that he can clear things up and restore its good name in preparation for relisting as a rental tomorrow. He offers to reimburse you for your time and trouble and gives you $25 cash advance. Knowing your jobs. Yep. So knowing your jobs, you will want to conduct some research before heading into the house. You want to check out the old newspaper articles at the offices of the Boston Globe. Head to the Central Library. Go to the Hall of Records. The choice is yours.
It's 1920s. I'm taking physical notes for this.
Naturally. So,
and the name of the proprietor of this house, what was his name again?
Mr. Knott.
Mr. Knott. Gotcha. Right, so to kick things off, I think I would like to have a word with Mr. Knott, if that is at all possible.
Meeting's already happened.
Or is he? It's already happened. Right, cool. So, and you said, and just to clarify,
yep.
What is going on in this house that he wants investigating? Was there a murder? Was there suspicion? What is the general vibe he's given us?
There's suspicious events. The former couple, former family in the house, they kind of left rapidly, and in a couple of months, and he hasn't been able to. It's got just a bad reputation. On the streets that he doesn't really know himself, and he wants it to be cleared up so he can publicly relist it again and get some money coming in, or sell it if that's the need be.
Fair enough. He just wants an investigator to check the place out, make sure there's nothing suspicious, not like a crack den, not like an opium den, nothing weird or funky like that. I get the drift. This should be, fellas, this should be a cut and dry case. We go in, we have a look around, we, maybe suss a few things out, make sure you look on the floorboards, cut and dry case, get our cash, get the fuck out. Easy job. What could possibly go wrong?
So where would you like to head off? Would you like to head to the actual location first, or would you like to snoop around and see if you can find any articles or any information of the location?
Personally, I would like to have a look at the records, previous tenants, who it was built by, things like that.
Maybe we talk to the neighbors,
You could, how about before we convene and enter the house, we split up, all right? you go and talk to the neighbors. I'll go check out the records, newspaper articles, stuff like that, and then we can convene and enter the house. Does that sound good to you?
Oh, sure.
That sounds perfectly fine to me. So yeah, I will go to.
Hey, you're the boss, you know.
I'm glad you know your place. Right. So I will go to the library and I will check out some newspaper clippings, historical records, articles of tenancy, rent, etc., stuff like that. See what I can find.
Well, what do we do with the kid?
Muggsy, who you want to go with? You want to go to a stuffy library, or do you want to go and talk to some stuffy neighbors? See, the choice is yours. Unless you got another idea.
I'm just trying to think.
There's options. In this part, you can split the party. It's safe. I'm not going to kill anyone
Exactly.
yet.
That's what.
It's safe.
Relatively speaking.
I might go to town hall and check the records of who owned the place.
Well, that's perfectly. Then you're coming with me, because that's what I was doing. So, Muggsy, welcome along. You ever been in a library before, Muggsy?
Yes. Yeah. I'll have to check
without even listening, going, libraries they say that the nature is God's gift to earth. Well, libraries are man's gift to earth, because in libraries is a sum total of all human knowledge, and it's a wonderful place to get lost. And you exercise your body in the park, you exercise your brain at the library. Come along.
The library and the Hall of Records are two different places.
Oh, the Hall of Records.
Yeah.
Okay. I got confused there.
Yep.
In that case, yeah. Muggsy, if you go to the records, pry up some stuff, I'll go to the library. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
And
Perfect.
And Edric's going to head to the neighborhood and just ask around.
Right.
Okay. So we'll start at the library. The Central Library in Boston is a large, over-the-top building with, of course, the Roman architecture, because, of course, it's America. They've got to steal from other people. It's got everything from everywhere, and it's kind of a catch-all for any documentation. You know the address of the building, and how are you going to try to do your research for that?
I was perhaps hoping to roll a library use roll to kind of
Yep.
Pulling up. I'm going to inquire. I'm going to look at like historical records of particularly the founding of the town, to try and find out about that certain area, about what was built in the town beforehand. Because I know there might be local superstitions about building on native Indian graves, which people get kind of hooey about. So I gotta look up stuff about that. What was here before the town? Things like that.
Okay, but focusing on that location of where.
Location, yeah.
Yeah.
And also like the general the founding of the town and like where that area might have been built.
Yep. So it's going to take you about a third of the day to research, like to do each role in the library. Because there's a lot to go through to track down, because it's not really organized as easily as it could be. Well, at least for your purposes.
No.
So can I have one library use, please?
Very well, sir. Extreme success.
Okay.
We're off to a good start here. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you find out that that the original building itself, in 1935, a prosperous merchant built the house himself. There's nothing written about the previous location, as in there's nothing suspicious about where it was built. Doesn't mention anything about Native Americans or previous owners of the land, but it does say that he immediately falls ill and sells it to a Mr. Walter Corbett, Esquire. You also find out
sells it to, what was the name of the individual he sold it to?
Walter Corbett, Esquire.
Walter C. E-S-Q.
Okay.
Cool.
You
that.
also find that in 1952, Walter Corbett was sued by his neighbours who petitioned to force him to leave the area in consequence of serious habits of unauspicious demeanour. So
Unauspicious demeanour.
yes, in consequence of serious habits of unauspicious demeanour.
Interesting. Sounds like Mr. Walter was up to some funky business.
You also find that no, that's it. That's all you get for that
Okay.
one. Yep.
I like that. That's I'm happy with that. It was I feel pretty good. I feel like I did some very thorough research. I feel confident that what I've got is about as good as it gets. So I'm gonna try and reconvene with the others once they've done what they had to do.
Okay, no problem. So we'll go to the Hall of Records, I believe, was the next location.
Oh, yes?
Yes. So the Hall of Records is the actual, like, it's attached to the town hall, and it's also part of the courthouse area, where it's got pretty much all the births, deaths, marriages, all of the official documents in the town, like from the city, from its burgeoning days. And you're allowed into the Hall of Records if you just what are you asking for specifically?
I would like to know about the owners of the address previously, and any suspicious deaths in if there was anything like that might have happened in the area.
Okay. They explain that they don't really go into suspicious deaths in the area. That would be more of the newspaper, or even you could find probably even articles in the library about that type of thing.
Right, check the obituaries.
But they do say that I'd like a research roll, please, a library use, to see if you can find anything.
Okay.
So do mention they do have court records.
So a library roll.
Yes.
So I press the
The
green one?
Green one's what we're using, yes.
Fail.
Okay. So you don't seem to find anything in the library. I will say you failed by only like 5. And I forgot to do one thing right before we start, is I mentioned that you can donate to give luck, but we need to actually start with some luck.
Yes.
So instead of doing 3d6 times 5, which you would normally do for a normal long-running campaign, what we're doing for this one shot is we're doing 3d6 for each character. So if you'd like to roll your 3d6 dice, and we can give everyone a little bit of luck.
Ooh, I'm one lucky bastard.
Well, you certainly got more luck than anyone else from yesterday's show, that's for sure. And 12, yes. And 15, wow. So the other
Hey,
thing...
we some lucky sons of guns, you know what I'm saying, huh?
There's a reason why the prestigious detective agency Kipper and Sons is so renowned. All right, we're the best.
right.
We are the
That's
best.
right. I'm not even his son, and I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So the luck rolls can be spent on improving a roll. So, Amy, you've just missed by 4. Would you like to use your luck to get that roll for your library use?
Wouldn't it might be? You know, research stage is rather important, so I think I will. So I have 12 luck, and I take away.
So I'll put luck down as 12 on your character sheet. It should be there now. and you take away. Essentially, you're burning it. You don't get it back unless we get donations, of course. But it's a one shot. What could go wrong?
So where did it go?
What could possibly go wrong?
Let's see. It should be. It's not. Didn't come in. There you go.
Okay.
Under luck. That's the 12. So if you want to spend your luck, you can minus that by 4.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good to me.
Okay, so you got 8 left, and now it's updating on the character. Yay! So you spend the luck, and you just.
Oh, so wait, so you spend the equal amount of luck as you need to reduce it by. So she just spent 4 to reduce it by 4.
Yes, because she needed to get that roll.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right. Okay.
Yeah. In full running campaigns, there's other ways of spending luck, and there's other ways of doing luck. One of the things I loved when I was prepping for this is that it actually says try not to feel guilty and try not to to pick people out when doing random encounters or random attacks. Just choose the person who has the lowest luck and attack that person. So,
That's pretty good.
because you're spending your luck and it goes down, and then there's consequences for spending luck, which is being attacked more.
Should have told me that.
Red had only 4 luck yesterday, and spent it all in one row. But anyway, so you find a record in the civil courts record that the executor of the Walter Corbett's will was a Reverend Michael Thomas, pastor of the Chapel of Contemplation, Church of Our Lord, Granter of Secrets.
What the fuck is that? I'd say out of character, what the fuck is that? But I ain't breaking character.
You already have.
No, I haven't. What are you talking about?
You're asking about the luck.
He didn't break character. He broke the 4th wall.
So that was the
Exactly.
Chapel of Contemplation. I think it's a spelling mistake. I seriously think it's a spelling mistake I've copied across. Because it really looks wrong. Yeah, contemplation. It's totally a spelling mistake. Don't you just love when you're doing spelling mistakes and they just amplify? Yay. There we go.
Damn fine, good job.
Okay. So, Chapel of Contemplation and the Church of Our Lord, Granter of Secrets. You would think that the Register of Churches would also be available in the Hall of Records.
Okay. I'm gonna look this person up. So what did they do? They were the
executor of Walter Corbett's will.
So the person who kicked them out?
No, the executive, the person managing his will.
Oh. The previous owner's will. Okay.
Yes.
Church of Our Lord and Grandest.
Yeah. I will say that it also hints that it references a legal dispute at the time of his death, which is where it was brought up. Like, it notes that this person in this legal dispute was a part of that.
Yeah. Is there any records of this Church of Our Lord and Granter of Secrets?
Would you like to search for like what the legal dispute was, or the record of the
Actually, the legal dispute, I think,
Okay.
would probably.
So again, this is your second one for the day. You can get 3. Because it takes time to go through these things.
Ah, gotcha.
Because it's more fun to have you
Fail.
walking around the place at night.
Fuck.
So, would you like to... So there's another system in Call of Cthulhu where you can push a roll. Pushing a roll is essentially trying to go about the same task, but in a different way. But there's consequences when you push a roll.
I believe if you fail, it's like you get an extra bad fail.
There's consequences. So you're pushing yourself further to do something, but you've got to actually come at the same problem with a different way. How do you think you can help find that in the Hall of Records? So you can choose any other role, like any other ability role, but you need to justify how you can do it. What would you like to?
Oh, I
to get
can
about?
basically use another ability roll.
Yeah. That's what it's about. It's using another. It's tackling the same problem of I can't find this. What can I do? But again, there's consequences.
What kind of
Don't feel
consequences?
bad about it though. You're still a kid.
Let's just say that yesterday we had an incident where intimidation failed. So the pushing the roll was a brawl attack. So imagine if that failed.
Can I use my persuade to
There we go.
talk with the attendant and get them to help me?
Yes, you can. That's the pushing the roll. So, and yes.
Hey, that's a bit better.
That's what we're talking about, huh?
There we go. So you
That's
persuade
what I'm
one of the attendants or one of the staff members to help you do the searching, and you find some records, and they actually find a couple records for you that lists a dispute at the time of Mr. Corbett's death. Now, there seems to be this Walter Corbett, yes. And I've got to find it because it's in a different area, but it works for here actually quite well. So there's a lawsuit which is waged by the people in the neighbourhood against Mr. Corbett because he wished to have himself interred in his basement at the time of his death.
He wanted to be
Buried.
entombed in his basement.
Buried. Yes.
Okay.
Now the staff member says, "No, I'm sorry, but I can't seem to find the actual results of the of this lawsuit. But we at least found there was something here, and that's where the reference of the minister comes in, that he was the executive of the will."
Oh, thank you very much for your help.
Have a good day, and if there's anything else we can assist you with.
I don't have time to check anything else, do I?
You may have time. Like, it depends on how much time you want to put into it. Like, if you put another, you'll be going to essentially the rest of the day. Like, you've spent 2/3 of the day,
There's something else. I
like the
wanted to
business
check.
hours of the day.
I'm trying to remember.
The church.
That's right. I was gonna check the church.
Should I do that because I've only done the library, so
Maybe that might be a good idea.
I've done 1. So you've done 2, and if we each do 2, then we can convene.
That's
Mhm.
probably a good idea.
Okay. There's the issue is how you're communicating. There's no mobile phones.
That is true.
Well, maybe you finished up early over at the library,
And then came
and you went
across.
over and you met him over at town hall.
Yep.
Potentially, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, and if you look at it on this side too, the more knowledge I know when I talk to the neighbors, if you guys come on overs, the easier it's gonna be to talk to them too.
Perfect.
Exactly.
fuck.
Neighborhood. There we
Cap, what's your character's name again? Erdrick.
go. Edric.
Edric. Hey, Eddie.
Yeah.
You want to come with me and check out this church?
Yeah, sure, why not? I got nothing better to
Alright.
do yet, huh? Everyone's working, no neighbors are home.
Well, we're
fuck,
going to come
that's
to you to do the neighbours looking around in the morning. So, what we're going to do... so you're walking around the neighbourhood. The house itself is like... It's starting like the area... It's central Boston, but it's one of the older houses in central Boston where... Like around it, there's now office buildings that are starting to spring up, and the house itself is wedged between two office buildings. And looking at the house, there's just like this unease where it feels like it draws in the shadows and it's hiding in the shadows between the two house or the two office buildings beside it, being flanked. But walking around the neighborhood. How are you approaching people around the neighborhood? What skills, what techniques are you trying to...
My first go at would be more of an observational. So I want to see who's coming, who's going. How busy is the neighborhood, you know?
Yep. So, let's see. Businesses, skills. Yeah. It's now the only private residence on the block. So as you're walking around and looking around the neighborhood, you notice that there's an old cigar, a newspaper vendor, on the block. And it seems
I
to
love
be
a good cigar.
and it seems to be an established, like it seems to be older than most of the buildings in the area, as in it predates the new people moving in.
Sure. That seems like a good place to start.
So, can I get an appearance roll, please?
Where's that at?
Top right. That's an ability.
Right. You said appearance, right?
Yes. So APP in characteristics.
Oh, in character.
Characteristics
Yes.
is
Got
the
it.
dead
Yeah,
middle.
yeah.
Yeah, APP.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get a hard skill. So you come up, you straighten your tie. You're looking dapper. You're looking good.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
Take pride in how I look.
yeah.
Eddie's the face of the company.
So you come across and you talk, like you introduce yourself to the proprietor of the cigar stand.
Sure.
He introduces himself as Mr. Dooley, and it's quite obvious quite quickly to just even small conversation that he's been there before the influx of everybody else. He was one of the first businesses, and he's been around for a little bit. Can I get... how are you going to try to get more information out of this person, though? There's a few different options.
First of all, I'm gonna sweet talk him, you know?
Mhm.
I need a good cigar. He's selling them. You know, I'm in the need. I'm all out. So first I'm going to talk to him about that. I'm going to get to know the guy first before I just go asking any questions.
Okay, so you buy some merchandise, and
Sure.
I'm not going to do cigarette advertising or cigar advertising on the channel, but you buy some merchandise from him,
It's a Rocky Patel.
and
Shit, man, is that Cuban?
you start asking about... I'm assuming you start asking about the Corbett house.
Yeah. I'm going to ask him, you know, how's the neighborhood? You know, are there any weird things going on, or, you know, any, you know, I don't want to say paranormal yet, but just anything strange about the neighborhood.
He says, well, can I get a charm roll? Because you're trying to be the charming, trying to put on the... with advantage, because you also bought. You only miss by 4, but roll a d10, and that'll be your 10s dice, like your to put in front of that 9. So a 39 with the added 3. So he says, well, I mean, I've been here all the time, and it just seems strange that the Corbett house has stayed where it is, and no one's been willing to move back in after the Macario family moved out a couple of years ago.
So no one coming or going to the house, just sitting there, huh?
No, after the father had his serious incident, the mother stayed in for a few years, Mrs. Macario, and then she went mad, and then there's been no one since.
Did she pass as well?
No, she didn't pass. She went mad. I think they took her away to a sanitarium or someplace. The kids, I believe, would have been taken to family somewhere.
And how exactly did he pass away, the father?
It's less pass away, but more like had a seriously violent incident. I think he might actually even be alive, but when you attack the police with a knife, it doesn't usually go well. But I wasn't there that day. I could only hear what other people said.
Okay. Any humor me for a minute. Any folk tales going on? Anything? Ghosts? Any kind of craziness happening?
Well, the father was they said, like, the father, like Mr. Macario, people used to say that he kept on babbling about seeing burning eyes in the house.
Burning eyes, huh? Interesting.
Oh yeah, just like the ones I hide behind my glasses.
Well, that's very interesting, thank you very much, I think I'm gonna keep on moving about my day, but I really appreciate all the information.
Yeah, have a good day, and come back whenever you need some more products. And
sure, absolutely.
Again, I'm not going to advertise cigarettes.
Right, yeah. That's okay. Me either.
These days. No, there's actually...
unless you smoke cigars.
That's right.
That's my advertisement.
There's actually legalities in Australia about advertising cigarettes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing. So you find out a little bit of information. I think you found a little bit from everybody. You get together and swap information. Where do you think you want to go next?
Me personally, I would have known where they were. So
Yeah.
after I got done doing what I was doing, I'd head to them over at the library.
Church of Contemplation. So Muggsy comes to me with this information regarding the the Chapel of Contemplation of the Church of a Lord Granter of Secrets. Now that sounds very peculiar to me. So I think I'm gonna go chase that up.
Sounds like some sort of cult to me.
Yeah, it does sound very cultish.
This coming
What?
from the Rusty Daggers.
Yeah, I know. I'm fucking sick. I've had it up to here with cults.
So you're thinking
dear Lord.
cultiness? Because from the information I got, I mean, there might be something a little paranormal here too.
Listen, paranormal shit. It's been I don't know if I buy into that kind of stuff. I mean,
You brought me on payroll for a reason, though, huh?
yeah, but I brought
That's
you
a
on payroll
specialty.
because you're a good talker. You get the face. It's the brains and the brawn is here. You're the face and the faith, and Muggsy's the intern.
You get that, kid.
Right.
So how are you going to find the Church of Contemplation?
Well, there's the register of churches that I saw you mentioned earlier. So if there is a registry,
The Hall of
I
Records.
assume records. I assume any official. I'm also going to look through newspapers to see if there's any. Because I imagine if there is a church, they'd have some sort of communal gatherings, maybe events. Maybe they bake cookies for the children on weekends. I
Or
don't fucking know. So
if
I'm
you-
going to look up some stuff.
if you want to go check the newspapers, I can go head back to the Hall of Records and.
That sounds like a good idea. Yeah. What about you, Eddie?
I feel like you know how to hold things down. Maybe I'll head out with the kid and make sure everything goes all smooth.
Perfect. So,
So-
yeah, I'm gonna look through some of the newspapers, and I'm gonna look through the registry of churches. That's
Okay.
my shtick.
So where are you going? So registry of churches you believe would be the Hall of Records. Newspapers would
Oh,
be
so
the
that's-
library.
I've already been to the library.
Yeah.
So
Isn't the
Right,
newspapers
okay.
at the newspaper?
You go to the newspapers as well, to the Boston Globe.
Yeah, maybe we do a little
That's-
flip flop. Maybe you head on down to town hall
So,
and we'll
okay,
take
so,
the
okay.
library.
Before I was searching for about the land and about the history of the town. Now we've convened and they've told us about like this psychotic episode that this father figure seemed to have. I'm gonna start researching about stuff like that. Actually, hold on a minute. Hold the fucking. Have phones been invented yet?
Probably regular phones, just like
Nope.
In
random.
that
Radio.
case, in that case,
Uh,
hold the fucking phone. Why don't I see if I can go to the asylum place and talk to this father? Maybe if I can find him and talk to him, he could reveal some stuff. Might be an idea.
Yeah,
Do
we
you
got some
know-
telephones.
Do you know exactly where he went?
I do not, but I'm good at finding this. I'm not a private investigator for nothing. I'll find out where this guy went. I'll find him and I'll talk to him. That's gonna be what I'm gonna do.
So what's the plan? Where are people going?
So yeah, I am looking for records of psychiatric places, particularly looking to see if they've accepted any new inmates. I'm basically looking for this father figure who lived in this house, and I'm gonna see if I can talk to him.
Maybe look for the wife as well. You know, we know she's in an asylum.
Okay.
Yes.
She
I
went
can-
crazy now too.
I can say that the only asylum, I could say like the only asylum that you would know in town, like in the city, would be the Roxbury Asylum.
I'll go.
So you
straight
don't
there.
even have to research that. If you're going to the asylum, where is Megs going? Where's Megsy going?
I think I'll head to the town hall, check the registry of churches,
Okay.
see what this chapel's all about.
And where is Eddie going?
I think
L.
maybe I'll go check the newspapers like he was wanting to do. You know, maybe I'll
Okay.
go check them out and see if I can find out anything else kind of weird going on in the papers or anything.
Yep, no problem. So we'll start with the papers, and we'll move our way around again. So papers, again, stolen Roman architecture and a single library use, please. Library is the most OP in this game,
Great.
That's why mine's really high.
and spot hidden, the worst in this game. So with the 95, there's not really a way you're going to be able to salvage that with luck. But would you like to push the roll somehow?
Let me maybe I just try to look around into the history of the church, you know? And maybe I can roll on, history instead of the library.
Yep. Yep, history would be a good way of pushing. But there's, again, consequences when you fail.
Oof.
Well, I'll tell you what.
So would you like to describe the consequences of, like, not finding? What, how are you stuffing that up? How, like, what are you doing to... You don't know? Okay. So... We'll do a simple one. So you've got on your desk all the first one, your library use with all these stacks of papers, and then you've got another stack of like history books and churches and religion, and it's just getting so much more. And after a little bit of frustration, you slam your arms down on the table, and as the librarian just goes over, all the stacks just start to fall, and they collapse. And there's a loud ruckus, and you're ushered out of the library.
I was reading here.
So that's a polite consequence of pushing a roll. At least no damage. Where else are we going? We're going to the Hall of Records for the church again.
Yes. I was going to check the Hall of Records.
For an address.
Yes, to see what they had on this church. Library?
Are we using library
roll?
use or charm?
Or... my... persuade's pretty good. Can I use my persuade?
Yep. Wow.
That's my Mugsy.
So you persuade them to give you access to records, and like it's not just to give you access to records, but also to give you access to records that are sealed. So the first piece of information that you get is that there was you get the address of the church. You not just get the address of the church, but you also get the so I'm getting beeped at. You don't just get the address of the church, but the fact that it's now closed, and that it was raided by the police, and there were a large number of fatalities in that raid. That was back in 1912.
The distant future of 2001.
When did
Bethel have flying cars by then.
do I know when
Did I say 1912? Yeah. Yeah.
Do I know when Mr. Corbett passed?
Before then, in the
Alright.
50s, like 1800s.
$1912.
So concerns
Alright, we might-
concerns were raised. So the file contains concerns of a secret raid of the Chapel of Contemplation, and the police raid was occasioned by affidavits swearing the members of the church were responsible for the disappearances of neighborhood children. During the raid, 3 policemen and 17 cult members were killed by gunplay or gunfire. Autopsy reports are singularly lacking in detail and uninformative, and as though the coroner had not actually performed anything of examinations. The 54 members of the church were arrested, all but 8 were released. The records hint at illegal intervention in the proceedings by important people.
Okay, so
And the
the raid
pastor...
was
Yep.
because of missing children.
Yes. And the pastor was also arrested, served was sentenced to 40 years in prison, and escaped prison in 1917.
1817 or 1917?
So 19.
Okay, yeah.
So 3 years ago.
Right.
Just a few years back, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That means he's at large.
Can you post a written form of that so I can make my notes?
I have been.
Oh, there it is.
Now I've got to ask. I just gotta ask. Pastor Michael Thomas, he's into the superstitious culture, correct? So it would seem.
There's implications that there was something untoward going on.
So, and was he a particularly tall fella, or was he quite short?
It
Because
doesn't
if he was
note.
short, that would make him a small, medium, at large.
Hey.
I'm sorry.
Hey.
Sorry.
Hey, he's joking here.
What can I say? I'm a funny guy.
I don't get any of that.
He's kind of like a
small-
mushroom. You
If
know,
he
a
was-
mushroom or something like that. Some moss. He's a fun guy.
Okay, let me explain.
Let's
If he
go.
was a small fella, into the superstitious culture, he's a medium. Maybe talks to the dead. He's a medium, and he's escaped from prison. He's at large. He'll be a small, medium at large.
Okay.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
It's like dissecting a frog. You learn about it, but the frog dies in the process. That's like a joke. Never mind. Let's move on.
I think they're making me do a sanity check here. Thank you. Okay, so we move on to the Roxbury Sanitarium. So, who like, as you go to the front office of the Roxbury Sanitarium, all the people, all the staff are wearing white, and you can hear screams in the distance in the sanitarium. It's a loud and noisy and raucous place, and it doesn't really. It's not a place you want to be in for long.
Tough crowd. Right, I'm looking for Hall of Records. Wait, is there a record of the information you got from talking to the people? Would I know this guy's name? So just from your interview.
Yes, you know the name. Yes.
What would that be?
I don't have his. There is no actual first name for this person. He's just referred to as Mr. Macario or Mrs. Macario, which is really annoying.
Mr.
Yes.
Macario.
Yes.
So I'll approach a member of staff and politely ask them. Let me just bring up my sheet and see what I'm good at. Charm. Charm's all right.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna approach them and just say, "Hey, have you got a Mr. or Mrs. Macaria interned with you here? I'd very much like to speak to them. I'm a private investigator. I'll flash my badge. I'm doing a top secret investigation, and I would like to visit Mr. or Mrs. Carrier, if at all possible."
So I do have the names. I found them. Vitrollo Macario or Gabriella Macario.
Hey, Italians, just like myself. Bada bing, bada boom. Right.
The young lady behind the desk says, we do have actually both Gabriella and Vitrollo at residence currently staying with us. I don't think Vitrollo would be who would like to speak to you. He's usually in isolation, and he's been a little bit violent to the staff.
Yeah. Would you mind me not so much talking to him, but just visiting him? Maybe if you have an observation area, perhaps.
We don't actually have an observation area, but we may, if you'd like, we may be able to arrange to if you want to speak to Gabriella, but we'd have to ask you not to excite her.
I'll do my very best, man. Not a problem.
Trying to find this. Where is that part from Gabriella? No. This is part which I didn't prep as much because I didn't think you were going to be going this way. There we go. Got it. Highlight. Thank you. So you walked through the asylum and you're playing. There you go.
Can I try and listen out for if there's any coherence in if there's any sort of coherent gibberish, like I know it's an oxymoron, coherent gibberish, but like any phrases, anything that comes up, can I make a listen check to ascertain what the inmates might be having problems with?
Yeah. Would you like to psychoanalyze the inmates? Because that's going to take time.
I got a fucking 1 in that, so I don't think so.
Yeah, that's kind of what psychoanalyzing is. It's yeah.
Nah. I think about doing it and I'm like, man, I don't fucking know.
No.
These guys are cuckoo.
They're all cuckoo, yeah. So as you're going through, you're hearing screams and help me, I'm totally sane, and then suddenly like they go on a rant on something, and the place, everyone's bonkers, and like it's really erratic, and it's not a place for normal people. You're shown to Miss Vicario's room, and you're asked not to enter, but we'll open the slot for you and you can speak to her through the door.
Oh.
It's probably not safe for you to go in there. Just try not to get her excited over things. And
Miss Macario? Gabriella,
s-
can I call you Gabriella?
You see a woman in her mid-20s, maybe early, like mid-20s, early 30s, and she's quite disheveled. She's just sitting in like on the ground in front of her bed in prayer, and you can see on the inside of her cell are drawings, religious iconography all over the place, scratched into the walls.
I've taken note of that. God bless you this fine morning, ma'am. Would you mind if I have a word?
She starts like reciting something, and she doesn't seem to respond to you, but like she's responding to you by when you started speaking to her, she's speaking back, but she's not speaking back in English. It's maybe Latin.
Latin.
Hmm.
Okay. Can I try and write down what she's saying?
Yeah.
I don't think I speak Latin, but can I try and like annotate what she's saying, perhaps?
Yep. You can try to phonetically put it down into words.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah.
Yeah. So you phonetically put this sentence. It seems to be like there's other things in there, but there's something that seems to be repeated as you're starting to write down. It's like, oh no, I've written this down. She said this before, and there seems to be the same repetitive area that keeps on coming through. And it's 1, 2, 3. And it's hard to see how many words are in there because Latin combines smaller words together, but it's anything between like a 4 to 7 words put into one.
Right.
But I think the audio just goes, I don't think this is going to be a good day for her. I think that I think we might need to let her rest. She has her good spells, but I don't think this is it.
Is there a handout for what she said?
Well, can you read Latin?
But no, I want to write it down phonetically.
Do I want to translate it into Latin, though? Let's see if I can. Okay, now I'm not doing that.
I see what you're saying.
Google Translate.
Well, that's what I'm looking at. Of course, it's not going to do it because I've just highlighted it. Really? Yes. No.
Well, what would be a check to see if I do speak Latin?
There is usually a linguistics, like as an extra thing you can do.
I see.
But you don't have it. I haven't put it on
I
anyone's
think
sheet.
it's just under language,
Yeah,
but it just says own.
but it's language own. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I learned a little bit in school. Padre Noster, Quies and Chalice, Sanctificare and Nomen Tuum, that kind of stuff. My mother, God bless her soul, she was very, very Catholic, so I learned a little bit, but not a whole lot.
If that's the case, he could always try to listen.
Yeah, no,
because he listened when he was growing up.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. I just want to listen and try and write it down so I can perhaps translate it later with reference material, like in a library or something like that.
Perma Ana Sud. Here we go.
Perma.
Now you're going to just Google, do the exact same opposite I do. Perma Arma Sud Diabolus Victor Est.
Google Translate is
like the
probably
devil?
not very accurate, but
Yeah, I know.
Victus
It's
est.
yeah.
But Ama Sur Diabolus Victus est.
You do. It does sound something familiar, as in you think that it's something religious, but mainly because most of the other things she's saying sounds familiar with the religious connotations. But this is something that it's ringing something, but you can't really figure it out.
Well, I know Diabolus is the devil, huh?
Yeah, no, that's telling. That's telling. Well, thank you, Gabrielle. You've been most helpful this day.
She doesn't
go
respond.
With God. I'll just.
As you say, go with God. She gets more feverish.
I'll turn to the nurses and I'll say, thank you. Are you entirely sure I can't just peek through like another little one of these slots for Mr. Macario?
He's in isolation. He's been violent of late. His wife is having a very good day compared to him.
I'm having a pretty tough guy. I just wanna see him. I not interact, not engage. I just want to see him. I just want to look at him. Please, ma'am. I'm an investigator. It is my job to be as thorough as I can be. This is important.
Would you like to try to do a persuasion, or that type of persuasion, intimidation?
I'm not great at that.
I think persuasion, because that's the approach that you're trying to do.
Yeah. Boop, boop, body, boop. Failure.
So you failed by what, 14. Would you like to push it and try a different angle, or just give up on that?
I'm gonna push that. Yeah, I'm gonna push that. I'm gonna push that with fast talk. I'm gonna be telling you, like, listen, man, just because of my jurisdiction, because of what I do, I like to push. I like to do this thing, and because of this guy, he could be very, very important to this investigation because the psychoanalysis, yada 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 yada. So I'm gonna try and fast talk at her.
Okay.
Fuck.
She says, look, I told you they're not going to have visitors, and when I said that, this is I explained that another orderly comes past and starts hearing this, and she just stops and says, look, she told you that if he's not going to have visitors, he's not going to have visitors. We are not going to be able to stay here, so I want you to leave, and leave now, and do not come back. I don't care if you're... And just takes that whole motherly approach, and really, really starts talking down on you. And even though you're a tough guy, even though you've been a boxer and done this, you feel small, and you just like, okay, I'm gonna go. She starts threatening police.
Thank you, ma'am. I got the message. Thank you, ma'am. I should be going now.
And she stomps behind you as you're walking.
Let's hope I don't return this place with charges of obstruction of justice. But good day to you, ma'am, and I'll leave.
So I think that's about everything. It's starting to get dark. I think I don't think anything's going to be open for long enough to then do further researching, further roles. Sorry, there's no internet. You can't just Google and reverse that Latin.
No. I'm gonna go to the library again, and I'm gonna try and find a book in Latin, and I'm gonna try and manually translate the sentence word by word.
I will say,
before I even
from
go to
a little
bed,
bit of my background, there's a chance I might know a little bit of Latin. I was, going into the whole priesthood thing and
that is very
the paranormal background.
That is incredibly true. I will take this immediately to my good friend Eddie, and we shall. Hopefully, he can crack the case.
Okay.
And now you're on the trolley, huh?
Yeah. And so, as I think you were coming out of the library, like that's where you were, as you're trying to come in to try to get that Latin, and we'll do the meetup with Megsy also coming after with your research. Can I get a history roll? I think history is going to be like
From whom?
would it, like what do you think it would be for religion? Because religion's not actually. It's really strange.
Yeah.
Religion's not in here. There's a cult, which you could say is religion, but I'm not, because that could be. Yeah. So, what would you like to do as a role for that?
That is a kind of tough one, huh?
Hmm.
A cult, maybe?
Yeah, maybe a cult.
Hmm.
That actually might be the best role I think
Yeah.
we could do.
And I think I'll give you an advantage on that because you say it is part of your background.
That's the
Yeah.
purple one, huh?
No, just roll the. I was going to say roll the normal. Yeah,
I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah, that's what I said. Just roll normal. So
Yeesh.
65 out of 12. Roll a d10 on top of that, and hopefully you get a 0 or a. No, a 0 is pretty much the only chance you got.
You get a
On a
1
D10.
and push luck.
A 10. You're only missing by 3. So you're on 15 out of 12.
I could use some luck here.
Yeah. So
Actually, wait. Hold the phone.
Wait.
Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
I'll hold the phone.
Is that because that's a 10 of a D10?
10.
Does that mean that's a 0?
No,
Because
that's
there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
nope. So when you use dice with the 10s and the 0s, so a 10's dice and a other dice, the 10's dice is 0, 0 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But if that's married up with a 0, that then comes 100.
But the
So, 10's dice, a 10 on the 10's dice is still going to be a 10.
But this isn't a 10's dice. This is a 1's dice.
Well, but if it came up
Was
with
it roll-
0,
it-
0,
That's
it'd
true.
be. If it came up,
I
yeah.
think that's
No,
Because otherwise, there's no other way to roll a 0.
there is.
there is no way to roll a 0.
There is. If you get a 0, 0 on a 10's dice. Or you get
It's
10.
not a 10's dice.
Oh, wait, no.
It's 1 to 10.
Yeah.
It is
1 to
10.
10.
It is. Oh, you're totally right. You get 5, you pass. Done.
Hey.
Why am I talking about
And
it?
it's a hard pass as well.
Yes.
That's why you make the big bucks, huh?
So I'm not going to do
I
the.
thought so. I'm not a private investigator for nothing.
So because it's a hard pass as well, I'm not going to just put it back into Google Translate and do the other, get a dodgy version out, which I was totally going to do. I'm going to give you the actual wording. It says, she was saying by his own weapon, the devil worsted.
Worst.
Yeah, I just put that in Google Translate. That's not exactly what that means, huh? Google Translate says, daring his arms, devil is broken.
That's what
That's way
I
different.
came up with. That's what I came up with.
That
Daring-
makes sense.
No. By his own weapon is the devil worsted.
By his own weapon is the devil
I don't.
worst.
What could that possibly mean?
And we'll have our break. And we'll move into this part 2 after the break, where we get a bit darker because we've spent all our time researching and it's going to be dark. What was that, Emmy?
Important research.
It is. It is. In Call of Cthulhu, research is really important. The most OP stat
There was
is...
a game for it.
Yeah, the most OP stat is library use, and the... Actually, I would say the worst stat is spot hidden.
Is what?
Spot hidden.
Spot hidden.
Because
Why
of
would that be?
reasons. You'll find out.
Okay. Oh, because that's how you see bad shit that makes you roll a sanity check.
Yes.
Sorry, that's how. Sorry, I said I wouldn't break fucking character. That's yeah. Okay, whatever. Fuck. It
Hey,
won't break
everybody
anyway,
gets
it doesn't
one.
count.
You know what I'm saying, huh?
Yeah.
We're on break.
Everybody
It doesn't
gets
count.
one.
So we'll be back. Listen to the sounds of the 1920 speakeasy from Syrinscape as we'll be back soon. So, bye. Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Karsha Goblin. We're going to get into our second part of the Halloween one-shot where it gets a bit darker, a bit more spooky, and I start moving away from the cheery, upbeat, swinging music in the background, and we move off the Syrinscape sci-fi and into the Syrinscape haunted house fantasy sounds. Just for a heads up, we for everybody here, just because there's scary sounds doesn't mean you go really slowly on your tokens, because that's kind of what everyone does every time I play these ones. Like, everyone's apprehensive about moving their tokens forward on the map, and it's kind of a thing every single time I do this. So I'm going to set up the tokens on the new map and then move everyone over to it. So there you go, move to there. There you go, cool. I didn't want there, did they delete? Whoops, wrong place. So it's getting into dark. You've done the research and you've done what you think is pretty much everything you can find out, at least from the location and the surrounding areas. And you think, well, you need to do an inspection and find out for yourselves firsthand what is going on in the house. And
To be entirely honest, if we're just inspecting some random sunken down house, I didn't think we would need to do that much investigating. I'm kind of glad we did, because there's some weird stuff going on, but you never know.
there's certainly some weird stuff going on. So the brick building is overshadowed by the taller, newer office buildings on either side. The house fronts the street, in the rear, an overgrown plantings and a half-collapsed arbor. Access to the rear exists on either side of the residence. Studying the house, the observer is impressed by the way the house seems to withdraw into the shadows cast by the flanking buildings, and how the blank curtained windows hide all understanding of what lies within. And that's where we open our scene on the front porch.
I assume I bought a torch, did I?
I don't know. Have you got a torch with you? Would you like to spend your 1 luck for a torch?
I mean, I assume if we're going at night, then we're going to have a torch.
Who wants to spend the luck for the torch, though?
Who's got the most luck?
I'm down to 8.
I'll take responsibility. I am, of course, in charge, so I will take responsibility for having a torch.
Okay.
I don't have. I'm not on the map. I don't see
I know.
the map.
Well, you're outside the building. With a torch.
I feel like a flashlight would be a little more handy than a torch. We don't want to burn nothing down, huh?
Right. Okay.
I'm assuming flashlight.
Different game, different era, you know?
It
Well,
is.
well,
Yeah.
in Australia,
I cast a light
we
on
call
my
flashlights
hands.
torches. So
I cast light on my hat.
No casting. If you want to cast, I take away your sanity.
I bring out Fart from the Rusty Daggers.
Fart
and
was
activate
taken. Kadan took it with him.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Yep. So, Kip, you've got a torch. You're outside the front door. It's starting to get dark.
Detective Kipper to you.
Detective Kipper. You got your flashlight. The door is locked. At least the front door is locked on the porch. How are you going to try to get in? The scene
Didn't
is...
the owner ask us to check out the place?
He did, but didn't give you keys.
What a spaz.
I know.
What a friggin' boob.
Yep. So...
In that case, I'm gonna try and let's have a look. If I'm gonna try the door. Does anyone got any lockpicks? Any of you's got lockpicks?
If you have the skill, you can try to jimmy the door.
Would that be sleight of hand?
I got
Lockpicking
one.
is that's not enough to have lockpicks. Being
A lock.
I've got a 1.
I got 1.
I've got a 60 in sleight of hand, but 1 in locksmith.
I don't make no sense to me.
Hey, looks like we all got the same chance of getting in, huh?
Right.
Maybe while someone's checking the door, I can go check and see if any of the windows are open.
that's a
Yeah, that's.
So you're going to the right of the house or to the left of the house?
Right is right and left's wrong, so we'll always go right.
Right. So you go around the front of the house. If you start going around the front porch, there's a window right there on the front porch on the right-hand side.
Will someone check the door first, or
The door is
we're
locked.
just going at the same time? Cool.
Is there a nearby pot plant that I can check for a key? It
Normally,
might have a spare key.
normally in a game of Call of Cthulhu, this is where you actually roll your luck to say, oh yeah, there is one. But we don't have that. We don't have that ability. And I don't think there's enough luck in the party to do that type of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because we're only starting with 3d6. So there's no key under a pot plant. There's some loose bricks here and there if you'd like to, but that would be vandalism. As you check the window, can I get a spot hidden as you try to look through the window? The curtains are drawn.
Could I do that as well?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do spot hidden as well.
Yep. Okay.
Hey,
So
Hard success from both of us.
are you both
Is he
looking
looking
through the
That's
window?
fucking teamwork.
I'm busy looking under the pot plant.
You're busy looking for a key left around. So you both trying to look through the window and see if you can see inside. Inside is dark. There's no lights on, and you try to lift the window, and it's not just locked, but you can also see on the inside, and this is where the spot comes in. You can see it's been nailed shut. So there's large nails extending from
hey,
the inside.
Kipper, you seeing this?
I'm seeing it. Still working on believing though. Why would they nail the window shut?
That just don't seem right.
No,
Something's
certainly
wrong
not.
here.
I am not liking the looks of this. We might have to
It
force
ain't
our way
sitting
in.
well.
Do we have a permit? Do we have a permit to force our way in? We were private investigators, so we don't really.
We
have
were
much
hired by the
jurisdiction of-
owner, so I can't imagine he's gonna yell at us for not giving us a key.
All right, do you wanna try and barge the door down, two of us?
Yeah, I'm sure we can manage that.
Yeah, come on. And I'm gonna try and use do you have a better brawl? Are you better at brawling than me? Cause I got a 25.
At Brolin, is that
Strength
Fighting
Below
brawl.
yeah,
five.
strength up at the top?
or fighting?
Fighting brawl.
Would it be
25.
strength? 'Cause
25.
I think
It's all the same.
Strength sounds better than just trying to punch
Yeah.
your way through.
Yeah,
that's true.
strength I've got.
So can we together as one try and and try and barge the door open?
Yeah, all right.
What would that be? Strength.
So it'd be
from both
strength
of
with
us?
advantage because you're working together to try to go through with that.
Righto.
Hey, you call it out, huh?
Failure. Fuck. All right, let's do one of these. Failure.
So with an 89, you try to bust your way through. 99 actually, which is a fumble. But no, 99 is the worst. You got
It was
advantage,
advantage, so
not
it's
disadvantage. That's right.
the higher one.
Yeah,
the lower
lower one. So as a 89, you try to push the door, and by doing that, you actually bust the lock itself, and like the door moves, but you think that there's like catches or latches on the inside of the door as well.
Might be worth to go another way.
I don't see another way. That's the problem.
Hey, do we look for a back door or anything?
So
that might be. We probably should have done that first. Yeah.
Okay, so you go around the house. As you go around the right hand side, there's like essentially a walkway around the house on either side. You go on the right hand side. Every window that you come across, like every one of them sealed shut, and if you look carefully, they've got that same. You can see the nails on the inside by flashing a torch in there and observing it carefully. You get to the back of the house, and the backyard is overgrown. Everything's just like it hasn't been touched for a long time, or at least it feels like it hasn't been touched for a long time.
How did they nail from the inside if all of them are nailed?
That's a point. Is someone locked in themselves in there? Are they? Are they trying to keep something out?
There's no back door, but as you start going around to the other side, which would be the left-hand side if you're coming from the front, you do see a side door on the side that you didn't originally go through.
All right, I'll try and shimmy that one open.
Again, it's not. Again, it's locked, and this one actually has two.
Oh yeah.
So
Luck for the luckless victims from a son of the deep ones.
So is that everybody, or is that one person? Because we do have one son of the children of the marsh, but I think that's an everyone. I'm going to interpret that as an everybody. So can I get everybody roll a d4 for luck, and add that to your luck rolls?
3.
It's a d4, not a d10. There we go. Oh, so I was looking at
I
d10.
rolled a d4.
So that's more than some of you had, because I know some of you have spent quite a bit already.
I have 10 now.
And remember, the person with the lowest luck is the victim, because they get targeted.
I think that's me.
That's in the rules. Oh, suggestion of the rules.
I'm unlucky.
Yep. So the side door actually has 2 bolts or 2 locks there. And can I get a strength check? I'm assuming you're going to have 2 people do that push.
I'm going to try and do that again. Why don't you take the charge on this one? Why don't you take the charge on this one?
All right.
Eddie.
I did the wrong one again.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
so
that's a
you did a
bit
hard
better.
success. So as you as you push in and you hit the locks, you burst both the locks, and then there's that little bit of movement, and then suddenly everything moves as you burst your way through, and the 3 latches on the other side also get burst and get broken. And we'll then move
I'm sure we can.
onto the map.
I'm sure we can find the funds to pay back Mr. Nut, if need be.
So it was
You-
very
you-
obviously locked on the inside.
Yes, and
It would appear to be so, but that has me rather confused. So if it's completely locked from the inside, all the windows are bolted shut from the inside, who's still inside the house? Mr. Nut certainly isn't. The Mr. and Mrs. McCurry certainly aren't. Who's in the house?
I'd like to go down and check the basement to see if Mr. Walter Corbett actually did get entombed under the house.
Oh. All right. That's a good shout. That might be something worth considering.
I can't see anything though. Everything's all black.
Very
oh,
dark.
so that's
Very
me.
dark.
I forgot to do the all players see light for the torch, as I did yesterday as well.
Also,
There we go.
oh dear God, there's two of me. There's a clone in the top left.
Yeah.
I'll have a
just
clone
ignore that one.
too.
Just leave them. Leave the clones. They're for
The evil
Cthulhu's.
doppelganger. The shadow, the evil fuck.
I apologize if you can hear my cat. He's going crazy in the background.
That's okay.
I do hear something.
So you enter.
Bless you.
I'm good.
So you enter the house and
God bless you, huh?
bust through to the two locks and 3 bolts that secured the door into what used to be, or what is, the mudroom, where you can see overcoats still hanging, galoshes, hats, umbrellas, several bags of coal, this is you inside the house. There's no light on. You only have your flashlight, which Kipper is holding.
Can I go check the pockets of the overcoats to see if there was anything left in them?
You can do a search or sleight of hand. Do you want to do it subtly?
I'm gonna go sleight of hand because my sleight of hand's a 60.
What's that?
Please, no.
Careful.
Please move. Don't do that with the light. It's really weird. You can do your sleight of hand.
Roll a
it's very
sanity
extreme.
check, motherfuckers.
So you start going through the items and going through this. Immediately apparent when going through that it's less about what's in them, but the sizes, and there seems to be there's a man's coat which hasn't been used for a long time. It seems to be at the back of everything. It hasn't been cleaned, hasn't been used. It's sitting there, almost in storage. There's the other 3, which seems to be more recently used, which seems to be a woman's coat, and there's also 2 children's coats. And obviously, not just by the size, but you find little knickknacks of sweets still left there, or wrappers from sweets.
No notes in the
No
pockets
notes.
of the adults?
No.
Okay.
No diary.
What'd you find there, Muggsy?
I've just checking through the coats, and there's we have a man's coat and a woman's coat and 2 kids' coats, but all they've really got is some candy.
Shit,
sweets.
that was the point. We should have checked up on the kids. We know the folks are in the mental asylum. I saw her. I didn't see him.
Well, I did ask, if anyone knew what happened to the kids over at the cigar shop, but he just said, they were taken to other families.
I hope they're right. I would hate to think of anything.
They just left the coats behind,
Then-
though.
I'm thinking. I'm catastrophizing. I'm thinking of the worst case scenario. Let's move on. It's probably fine. And I'm gonna have a look. Nope, that's just all right. I'm gonna have a look through on this room here. What's going on in
Yep.
here? Shining the light, peeking through.
So you move out of the small run of the mudroom into what looks to be the hallway, the central run of the entire building. You see across from you what looks to be, you can just see the start of what you think may be a kitchen, and there's another door further up towards the front door, which would be this door. So front door would be this direction, and the back of the house this direction.
Fellas, I'm gonna suggest something. Let's go and unbolt that front door. Let's go and open that up, just so we've got a way out, just in case. I got an uneasy feeling about this place.
Yep. So as you're walking up the hallway, the next room that you walk past, you can just see inside. There seems to be stacks upon stacks of furniture. Some of it a little bit broken, some of it not. Like a leg being hacked off a chair, or the back of a chair, things like that. As if you would need some firewood. Front door is right at the front. There you go. There's the front door there.
Right, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna survey the damage we caused failing to open this,
Mm-hmm.
and try and pry it open from the inside,
Yeah.
unbolt everything, get it open, so we've got a way out.
So there's a few latches on the inside, and that's what was the issue with the front door. The lock itself looks like be old, but the latches were certainly what was keeping it stable and keeping it solid.
Lord Almighty, whoever did this, they clearly didn't want anyone getting in. I mean,
And you can see to the bottom of the residence what looks to be a living room, just at the edge of
Right.
your vision.
Want
right,
to-
fellas. Let's say we what do you say we split up and check a room each? That sound good to you?
We don't have torches.
That is a very good point. I did not think about that. All right, now stick with me.
But yes, I think that maybe it might be a good idea to go look for the basement.
Well, let's. I would suggest we do this methodically. All right, we do it room by room as we go. Gather the front. I say we check in here first. I say pointing to the living room. I say we then go through, check each door, each room as it comes, and then we go to the basement. Just
All
you
right.
want
That
to
makes absolute sense to me.
There's
be thorough.
there's also a door to the other side too.
I
Right.
see it.
Yeah, well the doors are open
let's have-
inside.
Let's have a look in here. What is in the living room?
Okay, so the living room contains conventional furnishings, radio, couch, stuffed chairs, shelves laden with gewgaws. You can't help but notice the unusual quantities of crosses, images of the Virgin, and other Catholic artifacts.
Wow, this was some God-fearing folk who lived in here. That's for sure.
You know,
I'm gonna do something unusual. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna start to tune the radio, see if I can catch a signal.
So as you try to turn on the radio, it doesn't seem to work at all.
Now, as I thought,
can I look for a light switch or anything? You know,
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah. With the lights, there's help that's just enough to look at the walls. You can find a light switch to turn on for the room.
Let's see if we can flip it on.
So as you turn on the light
Hey,
switch, you
bada
can
bing,
see
bada boom.
further into the house. And you can see that the next room along looks like a dining room of sorts. And you can see the large mahogany table prominently on the dining room. It looks like even that it's even set.
Right, I'm gonna be doing spot hidden in every room. I'm just looking for anything unusual, any markings, any signs of a tussle, anything strange.
I'm not even going to ask you to do it here. The only strange thing is the copious amounts of like Catholic iconography with all the gewgaws, like all the little trinkets. There's very much a spiritual bent.
Can I go ahead and look at some of these? I want to see if there's anything strange in them. You know, maybe a bleeding statue or, you know, something going on weird with the relics.
Again, not even going to ask you to do the whole rolling because you don't need to in this case. There's nothing really like they look like they're not really expensive. There's nothing rare, but just simple iconography, simple cheap what you'd find in the markets and things like that. Nothing special in this circumstance.
Is there a bookcase in here?
There's no bookcase in here.
Okay.
You do remember seeing a bookcase in the room above the hallway as you were going past to go to the front door?
Right.
all this religious stuff. They keep a copy of the good book. But nah, I don't see one. Oh well.
Hmm.
Onwards and upwards, as they say. Let's check out what's in here.
Hey, don't forget to keep in mind. I mean, it looks like they got light switches. So if the electric's on, let's use them
Electrics
lights.
are on. So that radiator's just busted. All right, I'm gonna then try and find the light switch in the dining room.
Yep. Let's see. So the light switch for the dining room illuminates the chandelier, which is a cheap chandelier. It's just like a couple of lights over the main dining room, the main dining table. Where am I? So
Bit tacky, if you ask
the
me.
the large
Not my
mahogany
fault.
table with built-in sideboard accommodates up to 7 chairs. There's 3 places set and unused. There's scraps of rice rotting in a tureen.
Scraps of rice.
Yeah, and there's plates set for 3.
And a noose?
No?
Oh, I thought you said there was an.
I don't
Hey,
know
maybe
where
I heard
you-
wrong.
No.
I
no
thought you
noose.
said it was set for 3 and a noose.
No.
Ah,
And unused.
Ah,
like somebody
yes.
was cooking Chinese. Ah, whoever was here, they left this place in a hurry because they just left their food and ran. It seems like.
coats are by the door too, but how does that make
Yeah, but they
sense if
didn't-
all the
they
doors
didn't-
are locked?
I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. This stinks something awful.
And
I don't think it's as open and closed as you thought it was gonna be.
and the lights are
Certainly not.
shining into the kitchen as well.
Right. Should we check out the kitchen then? Follow me.
I'll check in the doorway for the light switch.
Yeah, I'm before just stepping in, I'm gonna like feel around the corners. I'm getting a bad vibe from this place.
Yep. Can I get a spot hidden
You sure can.
to... Yep.
Have we
Failure.
From everyone or just him?
You as well. Yes, Maxie?
been seeing any photos around the place?
There are photos. In the living room, yes, they would have photos of a man and a woman and children. You would assume would be the family, the last family here. Everyone doesn't seem to be able to find the light switch for the kitchen in the searchings.
Strange. I
Maybe it's by the other door.
maybe.
You do find, Sonny, you do find a circuit box, or circuit breaker box, or circuit board, or whatever you'd call it, fuse box.
Hey, Kipper.
Got
Come check out the
stairs.
box. Let's
Well, let's have a look. What's over there?
let's see if any of these breakers are flipped.
That's a good shout. Let's have a look.
Yep.
I'm not so hot on this new electronic stuff. It's all a bit bizarre to me. A bit too complicated for me, but I can certainly have a look.
So you go through, and it's pretty obvious which ones are broken or not, and all of them are switched on, except for the one that's listed basement, and those stairs.
Is that what these little cylinders? They're the what you would call them?
The
Fuses. That was it. Fuses. What do they do again?
You know, it's you put them in, they're good. They break, you swap them out. You know.
Okay. Do you got any ones to swap for these broken ones?
It-
Muggsy, could you try and find some more fuses, perhaps?
Oh,
Or
They
is it
swap
more
out
of
these
the
broken ones.
the J box like
More-
we have now, where
They
you just
don't
kind of
look-
flip the switch?
It's a switch,
they don't
as
look
in
broken.
not broken.
Yeah. There
Oh, they're
is
not
just a
broken.
Flip switch.
Ah,
Flip the
okay,
switch.
I
Flip-
got
flip-
you. Well, in
flip
that
the
case, let's
basement
turn
one.
them on. Turn them on. Turn them on.
So you flip the switch back, and nothing happens
That we know of.
that you know of.
Right.
What monster did I just unleash out of its cage?
You still have no light in the kitchen, but I'll give you a description of the kitchen a bit more. So you are
You got my
looking around.
torch.
You've got the torch. That's exactly that. There's a conventional oven, an icebox, wood-fed stove, an oven, plus a meager larder. Some of the foodstuffs may be edible. There are canned soups and canned soups, meat, rice kernels, several pastas, and a few bottles of homemade wine. Although, as you're looking a little bit closely at some of the food, it's certainly that something else has been in here eating the food, as in rodents.
Looks like we got a little bit of a rat problem here. You know, to add more fun to the party.
Fellas, there's a set of stairs. Those stairs go down or up?
They say go down.
You want to check out the basement? It's right over here. Just around this corner. What the fuck was that?
As you say that, you hear a noise from upstairs.
You heard that too, right?
I definitely heard that. Right. Fuck, I should have bought my gun. I can't believe I'm in. Can I roll a luck point? Can I spend luck
Yeah.
to have brought my
I was
gun?
about to say that too.
Yes, you can.
I now have a fucking revolver.
Hey, how strange is that? I'm packing heat too.
And how many luck points are you going to spend by a bullet each?
Is that how much it costs?
I know, I'm kidding.
Hold the phone. Hold the phone.
I'm
hold
kidding.
The phone,
I'm kidding.
hold the phone.
But that look was awesome.
Look of what? Can I check the kitchen for another torch?
You can check the kitchen. You can do a search roll, please. But spot hidden, of course.
So it's spot hidden.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay. You don't find a torch, but as you're searching, and you actually find the light switch, which is outside the kitchen. So you now have a
So
light switch.
I can't find a torch.
No, but you find at least the light switch.
I'm so terribly sorry. I can't find my gun in real life.
You ruined the illusion of your outfit. Showing-
Oh shit. Yeah, I'm
I
wearing
saw
my
nothing.
pajamas underneath.
I saw nothing. You saw nothing too. But no, you can't find any torch in the kitchen, but you do find the light switch, which was outside the other door, which is what you suspected.
Right. I wonder where they keep the torch.
You heard that? Did you?
Yeah, I
fucking
heard
hear
that.
Did you? What the fuck was that?
I'll grab a
Maybe we go
knife
Take a
off.
look.
I'm gonna grab a knife off the kitchen counter or drawer or something.
Do you grab a knife? Hi, welcome back. That was me going a bit black and white. They didn't have internet back then, apparently, and the phone lines weren't as good. So what we had was people getting curious about the upstairs and reaching for guns. At least that's the last thing I had come
Right.
through my side.
Yeah,
Bought
Kipper
a
was
knife.
saying maybe we should check out the basement, and I was just saying that
I
there's no
mean-
sound coming from down there.
I mean,
Just real quick, what stats do I use for a knife?
A small knife, 1d4 damage, plus damage bonus.
Plus damage bonus.
Well,
is it fighting brawl?
Yeah.
Okay.
My thought process was, well, the basement's right there. Let's quickly have a peek. I'm gonna have a peek, and then we'll go upstairs. All right. I'm gonna walk down. I'm just gonna sort of, almost like, peek down, shine the torch down, have a look what I can see.
Can I get a dodge roll, please?
From me.
Yes. As you take a couple of steps and you peek down, and the floor, like the stairs, seem to, like, you thought they were stable, and they're certainly taking a weight, but they just seem to move from underneath you. Do you want to push this roll and try a different approach?
Can I reach for him to, like, if I see him stumble?
He's not stumbling, he's falling. Is that the pushing the roll? Of you helping?
I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push with.
I was just right next to him, so that's why I was saying if
Can I use my sleight of hand to grab him?
You're a bit further away.
Okay.
But I'm right next to him, so I could do that.
And does Eddie helping me give me anything with jumping?
Where are you jumping?
I'm jumping from the stairs back to where I came from.
Okay,
hopefully
so
towards Eddie, so we can grab my hand.
A jump roll with advantage. You may want to roll one for advantage.
Can I also?
Okay.
I failed.
So you failed.
Can I strength pull him up?
Well, you're trying to assist, and he's trying to jump towards you, and that's why he's got the advantage on that roll.
Okay.
But because you're assisting, and that's still a pushing of the roll, consequences are stuff. So you both take some damage as you both tumble down the stairs.
Why am I falling?
Because you're assisting. You're trying to pull him, he's trying to jump towards you, and you both stumble and you both fall downwards instead of upwards.
I'll run on over. Are you guys alright?
That's what I mean by there's consequences to pushing, and you both fall down to the bottom of the stairs.
Oh, get your foots in my back.
Shit. Fucking hell. What happened? The stair just kind of... Well,
I told you we should have gone upstairs.
I just wanted to peek, but the stair kind of moved.
Moved or broke?
I'll look back. Is the stair broken?
No, the stairs looks right, but you're feeling really bad. You both took 6 damage.
Oof.
Oh, Jesus. I think I dislocated a shoulder.
Actually,
fuck.
That's more than half of Edric's. So let's go for this. Edric, as you open up Edric's sheet. There we go. So Edric, as you fall down the stairs, you take a major wound. And let's see what it is. Would you like to click on body location under the dice rolls? In the middle of the sheet. Under the sanity. A little bit.
Body locations?
Yep.
Where?
So, in line with sanity, down, but it's like where dice rolls is.
Yeah, in the dice rolling thing.
Yeah. It's right to the right of the dice rolls. Or would you
I might be blind.
Or would you like me to roll it?
Oh, there it is.
There we go. Okay, so as you roll down the stairs, you suffer a serious injury on your chest, and you're struggling to breathe. You're really not in a good way.
But you said I still took the 6 damage, right?
Yeah, you still took the 6 damage. This is a major, and this is a hospital-worthy wound.
Fuck. Shit, Eddie, you're right. Eddie. Come on, get up. Fucking hell. Oh man, we need to get you out of here. Come on.
Are you guys okay?
No, Eddie's hurt real bad. I think I dislocated my shoulder. Fucking hell. I'm gonna try and hoist Eddie up. Yeah, I can. Ah, shit, man. I'm gonna try and hoist him up over my shoulder, and try and like walk him up the stairs.
Okay. As you try to hoist him up over the shoulder, Meg, you're standing and watching this, and you've got the light in the room. You've got the light in. How are you holding the torch? Is like you're holding the torch with one hand and over the shoulder with the other? Is that the?
Yeah, I'm kind of like, so like picking him up, hoisting his arm over, like, and just sort of like
Yep.
the other torch is like kind of.
Yep. Okay. So as you're doing that, Meg, you're watching this and offering vocal support. It's about the only thing you can do, and suddenly everything turns out. All the lights go out, and you hear this click, or click, 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 and like the lights just turn off.
I think the fuse broke.
What's going on up there?
I'm gonna try and find my way back to the fuse box,
Yep.
which I think was over by the other door.
Well, I'm making my way up the stairs slowly.
Yep.
With Eddie.
So can I get a dex check or another way of doing that? Because as you start,
I'll gladly go with Dex.
Yep. Okay. So you use your dex to carry up, and as you're walking up the steps, the stairs seem stable, but every now and then they move. Like they'll actually forcibly move underneath your feet.
Oh, fuck, did you see that? Did you fucking see that? I told you that something weird's going on.
Yeah, that ain't right.
Come on, man, we need to get you out of this fucking house. We need to get you to a hospital, and quick. We can do this. We can fucking do this another day.
I'm gonna look for the fuse box.
Yep. Now that the torch is here, you can find the fuse box, and the strange thing about the fuse box, all the light switches, all the fuses for the light switches have been turned off.
None of the fuses are broken.
No, none of the fuses are broken.
Oh, something must have tripped it. And I'll just switch everything
As soon as
back
I hear
on.
Muggsy say that,
Muggsy, what happened to all the lights?
I don't know.
as soon as Muggsy says someone might have tripped it, I'm immediately shining the torch and having a look.
Well, I mean, like, there might have been something on the power that drew too much, and
They just turned.
Maybe that's why they have the basement flipped off, because it might draw too much power. I turn everything back on except the basement.
Yep.
Muggsy, those lights were flipped. Did you not see that? That's not. Those switches were flipped.
The switches flip when
No.
they flip on and off.
And no, you said the fuses break, correct?
Well, if something does get overpowered, it automatically flips it off for you.
Yeah.
That's how it preserves it.
Yeah, so they all
Okay.
flip. No, then there's no broken fuses.
Yeah, there's no broken fuses. The safety has stopped them from breaking, but
Hey, what's going on here? You
Doesn't
playing a
matter.
joke,
Come on,
Muggsy?
let's-
No, I think that maybe the basement drew too much
hear that
power.
again?
Come on, Eddie. Let's get you out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
And I'll start to slowly make my way towards the room number 3 with Eddie, trying to get him out.
the mud room.
Yeah.
think it was this way.
Not.
Oh, was it up there?
That's-
Do you want it to go into the darkness by yourself?
I thought it was
Say-
that way. No, it is this way.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And
Come
you
Come
leave the side of the building. What are you going to do with the door? Because it's clearly now broken. Like all the latches were broken, everything was broken. Front door as well.
I'm just gonna gently close it. Muggsy, could you go around the front and just close the front door?
Oh.
Just while I get back to the runabout.
All right. I'll run around the front of the house and
Yep.
close the front door.
Yep.
And I'll slowly bring Eddie towards the runabout and get him in the back. And,
Maxie, can I have a sanity roll, please? A sanity check.
Why? So I just hit the green sanity button.
That's the one.
Eh.
Ooh.
No!
As you get to the front door, to try to close it because like it was broken and then I've unlatched it from the inside. The door itself is closed and it's locked.
Like,
The door itself is closed and locked. Take 4 sanity. Loss.
which one do I put? How do I change that? What am I changing?
If you click on the token, you can just do the blue one is your actual sanity. So 45 then goes down to 41.
Okay.
There you go. There's no sign of any breakage. There's no sign of forced entry. It's a pristine door, locked.
But we broke the door. I'm gonna go back round. Detective,
Yeah.
the door's fixed.
What?
It's back to normal.
That's not possible. We
Yeah, what is she
broke it
talking
in.
about?
It looks like we didn't even touch it.
You better check it
Hold
out,
on.
kid.
I'll set Eddie down in the runabout, and Muggsy, you could you just like bandage him up real quick,
Oh,
and I'll take out
of course.
the revolver.
First aid,
And I
please.
will slowly.
Yep.
Pardon?
First aid for the
I'll
patching
slowly-
up. Yep.
And I'll slowly make my way around to the front and have a look at the door.
Can I assist with the first aid?
Yes, you can
holding
assist on your own first
the-
aid. Yes.
So
Oh, that's much better.
Yeah. It's still a fail,
Still fail.
but it's better.
I'm not very trained in first aid.
But at least it's not bad, not super bad. So you go to the front door and you look at the door and it's just swinging there, like partially on its hinges from the breakage. You can see the frame, like the splinters of the frame where the lock's been broken.
Looks exactly how we left it, Muggsy.
What do you mean?
Oh, come look. It looks exactly how we left it.
I'll come back around to look at it.
The door's busted.
well, I'm all alone.
Yeah.
I
Can I get
could have sworn.
a power check, please? From
who?
Edric.
Fight the
Remember,
power.
he's
What?
Remember, he's in the car. He's
Yeah,
in
he's in the car.
The 1920s.
Yeah, he's in the car. So Edric, you're in the back of the car, and it's like, and you get this urge to like, this is a bad place. I think I need to drive away. And he's like, oh, like you start moving. No. It's too painful. I'm not. I have to wait for someone else to drive. As Kipper and Meg are at the front door.
I could have sworn it
Can I
was
honk?
fixed.
Come on, let's get out of here. Come on, we'll come back another day once we've tended to.
I'm probably
I
just
think-
tired.
Yeah, probably. This place gives me the creeps. Might be. Come on. We're back round to the runabout.
So
I will go back.
the job was to be done by the morning. What would you like to do?
Fuck.
We have to do
Can
it
I
today.
try?
I
Can
might
I
be
try,
okay sitting here for a few.
Yeah, would you mind staying here while we just check
You
the
can
place
do
out?
a first aid. Like I'll allow
Yeah,
someone
can I
else
do a
to
first aid?
Yeah. And
Someone else can
And
try.
on myself as well. I'll do one. Can I do one for Eddie and one for myself?
yeah,
With advantage on me.
yes. Because Eddie's
Righto.
pointing out the bits that are hurting more. That's a fail.
Come on. Still a fail.
That's a fail. Not many people have
So-
first
You
aid.
might have to do your own first aid.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try and do myself now. That's a fail.
It's only
but
3.
I'm gonna push luck to make that a pass.
You really want. Oh no, you're burning luck.
I'm burning luck
Burning luck.
to spend. I'm spending 3 luck points to make that a pass.
You get 1 health back
Oh,
for your
Jesus.
first aid.
Can I try first aiding myself as well?
Yes.
Fucking hell. Can I?
Yeah.
Can I assist him? Can I assist him?
No, I think.
Yeah, I would say you
yeah.
already tried it. So
Yeah.
I'll
whatever.
assist. Oh.
Yeah. When you're doing yourself, I think you can't get the assist because, like, Edric was assisting you help him because he's got
Yeah.
some skill, like actually quite a bit of skill, but the other way around, I don't think is going to help. So yeah, you get 1 health back for your first aid. First aid's more about the bleeding to death, less than like instant health. In Call of Cthulhu, it takes a long time to get health back, like hospital medical treatment for health. The same for sanity. Like insane asylums is how you get health back, which is not always good. So you're a little bit injured, you're a little bit worse for wear, and a little bit confused about the front door being locked. But the job is to be done by the morning. What would you like to do? Do you want to
What
just
do you say,
bail and go?
Muggsy?
Nope.
Should we check out this out and? I hate that. I mean, we are Kipper and Sons Detective Agency. We have a reputation to uphold.
Yeah. Are you gonna be all right out here by yourself?
yeah, I got my gun. Worst case scenario, I'll give it to him.
Worst case scenario. No, let's not think about that. Right. Meg, I'm giving you charge of the torch
Right.
because I'm gonna be holding my gun.
I have the torch. Let's get going.
Let's go back in through.
Could
the
we,
dark room.
Spend a luck point to see if maybe we left a flashlight in the car.
Yeah,
So now there's 2.
yeah.
I'll give you guys that one.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Now I'm gonna be going through like this. Torch in this hand, gun in this hand. Like
So
this.
I actually have something for the overlay to actually work for this scenario. Not the one I was actually expecting to use. but I'll use it anyway. There you go. So, dying is going to be for you.
What?
As in,
Dying?
Edric's in the car.
Oh.
Too hurt to continue. So, dying is the one.
I just
Okay.
realised that Edric and I are in the wrong
I just saw that.
camera
too.
yeah.
spots.
Probably been a
Yeah.
while.
Oops.
Let's fix that too. while
Dude
we're
is
here.
just wounded.
It also says I'm a paranormal investigator.
Oh,
Pereira.
I'm not changing the overlay. Just leave it.
Fine.
I've got dyslexia. Under stress, it comes out, and Photoshop doesn't have the
It's all good. Me too.
whole corrections like everything else does
It's
these
a-
days, which have been great.
It's a mood.
Yeah, it doesn't allow for that type of thing, unfortunately.
That's a mood.
Yeah, yeah. So you're going to the front doors?
Yes.
Okay, let's get you from there.
Actually, no.
And-
The not the front doors. The boot room. The
On the
mud room.
mudroom? Okay.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give Edric, I'm going to give you sight from their characters as well. So you're going to have permissions to actually see from their tokens, but
Sounds good.
so
I'd
you
like
can
to
see.
look for a light switch in, the mud room.
a good idea. You find a light switch.
I turn it on.
I can't see anything at the moment, by the way.
Yeah, I've light switch
Okay.
priority, then everything, then yep. We'll get there.
You know where?
It's a weird thing. But yeah, you find the light switch for the mudroom.
Right. Turn on the light and let's keep moving.
Just tell me when you can see things. No?
Are
Damn.
you going that way? There's some rooms up here that we missed.
There was.
Make it quick. What's in number 2? What is behind the door number 2?
Maybe you should be able to see it now.
Nope. You see a big.
Damn.
number 2.
Why isn't that working? It should be working.
I have it now.
You got it? Okay. So Meg you can see through.
So, also the map isn't
figured the
showing up
black
on
and
the-
white
on
would
the
be
stream.
I know.
I was about to say that's kind of like wasted.
We're trying to get everything done at
That was the
once,
thought.
and there's a lot of stuff happening at once. So just let me try to do one thing at a time, then we can go through. And I wasn't doing the map on the screen, so I could do the dirty, behind-the-scenes stuff of editing all the characters to allow. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Gotcha.
So a description of the this room, which you haven't been in before. So this room contains furniture which have been broken up and stacked up to the ceiling. You believe that this may have been like what they were fueling the stove in the kitchen, which is broken furniture.
Huh. I'm gonna have a look. Is there broken furniture all stacked up in this room? I'm very confused.
Is it old furniture? Like,
It's not old antiques, but it's just, yeah, just disused furniture. Nothing? Okay.
No, I don't think there's anything for us in this room.
go to the next one. Is there a hallway light that we can put on?
As you're saying that, you can see one just at the very end of the hallway, right next to the front door, which no one asked about. So, as you say that, you can just see one with your torch.
I'll go up and I go turn it on and turn on the hallway light.
And the lights start turning on along the hallway. All three of them. So this room looks again a storage room, but not as much as the one you've just passed. This room's filled with boxes and other junk, rusted water tanks and old bicycles. At the end of the room itself, there's a cupboard with a bookshelf on top. The bookshelf looks to be empty, although you can see that the cupboard itself is boarded shut.
Well, suppose there ain't nothing for it. I'm gonna search through some of these boxes.
Yep.
I'll try and see if I can get the cupboard open.
Yep. Can I get a strength for the cupboard, or something that, or another way around that?
I might do a strength.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Wow. Okay.
Rip it off.
As you're searching through the boxes, you don't find anything of note. There seems to be just bits and pieces of like just clearing out old belongings. It looks like maybe a previous owner's belongings have been placed into this room, and this room hasn't been used. And when you open off the
Just shitty
cupboard,
knickknacks.
yeah, when you open the cupboard though, there's something obvious. There's three bound books sitting on top of each other, and they seem to be the only thing of note in the cupboard.
Do they have a title?
No title. They don't look like they're published books.
Let me have a look at that.
Yep.
And I'll take one of them out, dust it off, and I'll have a flick through. Now, does library use help me sort of get the gist of this book? Does that help in any way?
So by giving a bit of dust and just the instant flick through, there seems to be a diary. And on the inside cover, it declares itself as a diary of W. Corbett.
Walter Corbett.
It's the previous owner.
Yeah, this was the guy who was Walter Corbett Esquire, forced to leave by the neighbors, sued for unauspicious demeanor.
He
What
was also
was
the one who got into a legal dispute because he wanted to be buried in the basement.
That's right. What was Mr. Corbett up to? And I'll start flicking through the diary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna grab
Fine.
another book and open it to have a look.
The second or third book.
Second one.
Okay.
The next one in the pile.
So the first book, can I get a library use, please? Second book, library use as well.
Yes, you can. Oh dear. Success.
Okay. So the success.
I'm gonna spend one luck to make that a hard success.
Okay.
Aha.
So with a hard success of going through the first diary, it talks about securing this house, and while it doesn't say, there's that overtone of through devious means. That's as in he was the cause of the original owner's illness, and that's the part of the that's where you get from the hard, that there was something about him possibly being the cause, or the hinting of him being the cause of the original owner's illness. Oh, sorry, that was the second one. So no, for the first one you'll get that. I mixed them up. Okay, so for the first one, that's that. For the second book, it talks about connections with a certain church that you've been researching and looking into. and the writing seems to go a bit askew, and by the end of it, there's a mention of like the coming of the opening of ways. Just a brief mention of that, but he doesn't really reference of anything more. And you're going to look into the third book.
Huh? Absolutely.
Okay, can I get a library use, please?
Can we look? We look into this together?
Yes. You can do individuals or assist.
What would you rather?
What do you think?
I got a 65, so assist maybe.
I'll assist you
Okay.
then.
So 65 and roll
Success.
twice. Success, and you
Just to see.
still a success.
Just a success.
You're 4 away from.
Or if you use the
No,
advantage, then you're only 2 away.
Yeah.
'Cause
From a hard success is what I'm
Huh?
saying. Hard success is 32. You've got 36. Oh no! Yes.
can you
you're-
use that?
what?
Yeah. Can you use that 4 to make it a 34, and then you're only 2 away.
Could
No,
we
no, no,
each
that's a 10.
use 2 because we did this
Oh.
together.
Yes. If you want to share the
Because
luck here.
would you be alright with that?
Using half luck. Yeah?
Yeah.
Each.
2.
So we each use 2.
Yeah, it's okay with me.
Yeah. So it becomes a hard success. Now you've both read through the first 2 journals, and for you, Kipper, this journal is a big difference from the first one. Like the writing's more erratic, the talk is more over the top. For Megsy, it's a little bit of a jump. So there's a progression from the first book. There's like more refined writing and more coherent thought, and then it progresses to this state, which is far more over the top. So it talks about the location being important, like the house itself being important, and that the plans are coming through, and that that it will call forth the opening of the ways and continue and transition into something greater. And like it just keeps on going and over the top. Can I get a sanity roll for both of you, because you both got that?
Yup.
And
Both
thank you
read
for
it.
spending the extra to get the hard success, because it's going to be a bit more dangerous of the information you just picked up.
Oh, no.
Where is sanity?
Right at the top, abilities, SAN.
SAN.
I'm not very good with my sanity rolls.
Actually, it's
Is it this one? Oh no.
yeah, that's the one. Okay, so you both failed the sanity. So for Meg, okay, Meg, you take 3 sanity loss. Kip, you take 6 sanity loss. And as
that's both Max and.
it is. So you take 6 sanity loss from your current pool. No, it's not max, just from your current pool, like the current what you've got.
Okay.
Your max does change. The more Cthulhu mythos you have, the less total sanity you have as you learn more. And so as you're reading through this, you're actually, it's starting, like your mind starts to spin and you start understanding more and more of what's going on. And he's talking about bringing forth something from a different plane of existence. Can I get an intelligence roll, please? Now, we spoke pre-game
Okay.
about this intelligence roll being the only roll you want to fail.
For both of us.
No, this is just for Kip, as Kip lost more insanity and has a greater understanding of what the book was.
Hard.
Oh, no.
You were surpassed. Kip, on your character sheet, on your mental state, where it says like Sandy and all that area, can you click on the one which says real time? So You have a mania. You've gained a mania, and you seek to indulge in that mania. What is that mania to do with this situation? What is driving you? What's the OCD you have to do right now?
I've got.
Or Capri, what would you think?
I gotta prove myself. I can't quit. I cannot quit. I've got to find out I've got to get to the bottom of this because I am the best motherfucking detective in this goddamn shithole of a city, and I will prove to everyone that I can be as good as my father. So
learn more about what's going on.
That's dangerous.
I gotta know. I gotta know more. I gotta figure this out. This. There's some really weird shit going on here, and I gotta get to the bottom of it.
That's very dangerous.
That's I'm well aware that could be dangerous.
Yeah.
We're playing fucking Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah. So you've got upstairs, you've got a basement. Where do you want to go? You've in your investigation. Where do you think you must go right now?
In the diary, did they give a location in the house? Was there any hints? Okay, nothing.
No.
Right.
The guy was buried in the basement.
This is good. This is great.
Possibly.
This is great. Muggsy, don't you see? Don't you see? If we crack this, if we get this case, we're gonna be the motherfucking kings. Alright? We're gonna be the best.
Right.
Ain't nobody gonna top us if we crack this case. We're getting in some real deep shit here.
All right.
Right. Let's check upstairs.
Okay.
And I take out the gun.
Okay.
Let's do this.
So
Okay.
you head upstairs.
I'll follow
and-
him upstairs. I'm just tagging along.
Going to close the overlay so I can move people quickly. Okay, just stay where you are. Stop. Stop. I've done this before.
I ain't touching nothing.
This is really annoying with the with the goblins group. They keep on moving. We've had the chase scenes with them. There, and delete the old ones.
Ah!
So you raise yourself to the top of the stairway.
Where is that? Ah, here we go.
Up the top.
And I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna listen out. I'm gonna close my eyes. And I'm gonna just focus and see if I can hear any of that weird fucking noise that I heard before.
Can I get a listen roll, please?
Absolutely. You
I'm
can.
just shining my torch and having a
Yep.
look around.
Extreme success.
You hear a rattling of a window in one. Like you hear two things. One, to the downside, or essentially to the left, if you're facing into the corridor, you hear a dripping of water. Further along, it may be the very next room. You hear a rattling of a window.
And is that coming from below me? Or
From this room,
here?
from this level.
This level.
Yes. So the
on
rattling.
on the same
so
room in this.
The dripping's coming from below you, from this part here that I'm pinging.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
you believe that in this room here, because you can't see through the walls, that's where like the rattling, like there's a window shaking or rattling.
How do we get? Ah, there's the door.
Yes.
Meg, stay close. Stay
Alright.
close. I'm gonna press my back up against this wall, and then with the torch and the gun, I'm gonna through the door and have a look.
Okay. So just give me a moment. So as you shine the light and you look inside, the room contains. This room was once a bedroom or maybe even a spare room. There's a like on the inside of the door inside the door. There's a bed frame, essentially on its side, leaning against the wall. Its mattress is just totally threadbare, and the steel springs are exposed and just sitting against the wall. There's little furniture in the room, maybe there's like a cupboard or two on the other side, but across from the doorway there's the window.
I'm gonna just shine my torch.
Yep.
Do you see anything
You don't see anything.
unusual?
You hear the window start to move again, start to rattle.
I'll aim my gun towards it, shine the torch, and walk ever so fucking slowly towards that window.
Okay, Megsy, what are you doing?
I'm following after with my knife and my torch.
Okay,
I'm gonna
the windows are here.
kind of shine my torch around and have a look around the room as we're walking through.
Okay. So, Kip, can I have a spot check, please? Megsy, can I get a spot check with advantage on this one?
That's spot hidden.
Spot hidden, yes, spot hidden. I'm used to
I've
other systems.
advantage.
Okay, so
Failure.
Megsy's failed,
Yeah, I'll fail.
and so in this circumstance, Spot is the one you really want successful. So Spot's a double-edged knife in this game, as you kind of realize with reading the stuff and whatnot. But in this case, what you fail to spot is I'll do it from the overlay first so everyone can see, because what you fail to spot is the bed frame fly itself across the room, exposed steel springs and all towards you. Can I have a dex check, please, from both? Essentially a dodge.
Dex.
So not dex, not dex, a dodge roll specifically, which is half your
dear.
dex.
Dodge.
Hard pass.
Okay.
Can
So
I try and grab Muggsy and pull him down with me?
in this case, because it is kind of a combat-ish thing, if you pull, you're likely to pull yourself into the fray. This is you're dodging out. If you're not dodging out, you can try to push. So are you trying to push Megsy out of the way and take the blow, or are you trying to get yourself out of the way?
Normally I would, but I'm manic right now, so no. If I let myself get killed, I miss out on the glory. So no, I just duck.
You duck. As from the car, you hear this cracking of glass, and you see a bed frame fly out the window. And
Holy
Megsy,
smokes!
there we go. Megsy, you take 8 damage. As you get thrown across the room and impaled through the metal bed springs as you fly out the window. The bed in itself actually helps your fall and crumbles around you, but it's the metal bed springs that stick into your body as you land.
He goes flying out the window with the bed.
Flying out the window with the bed. And that, I believe, is now 5 damage. Sorry,
How much it would? It takes me down from
11 to now 5.
Is it 5? You said.
So it's 6 damage. So 11 with 6 damage is 5.
I thought you said 8.
Oh yeah, sorry, no, it is 8.
Immediate,
It's 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's down to
immediately after
3.
this happens, I'm gonna spin around and look at where the bed was with the torch shining.
And and in your in your manicness, you spin around with the torch there, and you start firing. Just at least let off one shot of your pistol as Meg hits the ground. And so from the car, you see this bedspread fly out from the side of the building. You don't see Meg attached to the bed, but you now hear gunshots going off in the house.
Can I try to get myself out of the car to,
Yep.
I guess, observe where the bed landed?
Yep.
Where I landed.
Well, I don't
So-
know. You're there yet.
So you can start running up from the car, from the sidewalk, and you find this this torn up piece of bed frame in the overgrown grass and bush, and in the bed frame, you by the little bit of light coming off a torch, you just see
That I was holding.
Megsy also in that tangled mess of wire and steel.
Holy smoke, Smugsy! You all right?
I don't.
Somewhere weird there.
No. It hurt. It hurt a lot.
I'll lean out after
Why?
First
Do
of
I
all,
need to
where
do
I-
a body hit location because I'm
Yes.
pretty hurt?
Yes, please.
My arm doesn't feel that great.
As you try to pick up your arm, and there's steel hooked through it to the bed frames.
Yeah, can I try to do some first aid here?
Your first aid is pretty much removing the bed from the body.
I have a spring in my arm.
Yes.
Hey, and I got bruised ribs over here. You know, I can't even breathe. Can't breathe real good.
It's lots of blood, sir. I think I'm gonna pass out.
while this is
Hey,
going
you're
on,
all right, kid. We'll get you through this.
do I see anything
No.
in the room where that
Oh,
bed
actually-
was? Nothing.
Can I get a power? A power, please. So. Okay. So you failed power.
Nice.
Nice is a failure.
For 69.
Yeah, I heard what you were talking about.
So as you're turning around the room and you're trying to find anything, you start seeing the walls start dripping blood, and they start seeping down, and it's just everything around you. And you look to your floor; it's starting to come towards you.
I start firing at the floor.
Start firing at the floor. The blood's covered up the front, the actual exit of the room, the door to the room, and it's just dripping as a waterfall across the open door.
Clicks. Shit. And I dive out the window.
Okay, you dive out the window. Let's do this then. We'll see.
We just hear gunshots and then see.
And you
pick
dive
it
out
up.
the window, and from above, you hear from outside, you're hearing these gunshots go off from inside the room above you, and then suddenly you see a black figure flying across and landing in a tree across, still above the ground. You didn't hit the ground. You only took 1 point of damage. But you're in the tree, looking back at the room and clicking an empty gun, firing back into the room.
Hey, Kipper, what are you doing?
Are you all right, Mr. Kipper?
Yeah, I point down and I click an empty gun in their direction. I throw the gun down. Get me the fuck down from here.
Hey, you be careful, you bastard.
I don't know what the fuck has gone on wrong in that house. But it's been touched by the devil. I tell you that fucking much.
Ain't no doubt in my mind on that.
Did you see what through the bed?
No, I saw blood. Lots of it. More blood than could ever fill any body.
As he's saying that, I'll try to help him down from the tree.
Yep.
I'm gonna gingerly try and climb down.
Yeah, he's climbing here.
And I think we'll close it at that. I think we'll close it at that, and close the scene and close the episode with. I don't think you're going back in. Like, I'm just as the keeper. I don't think you're going back in with like.
I was gonna roll. I was gonna think, is there a roll for that? Like something against them, because it's the mania, right? It's the mania.
It's the
So-
mania, but in this, the mania only lasts for a certain amount of time. It only lasted for 3 rounds.
Yeah, it was 3 rounds.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a permanent mania.
No, in that case,
Yeah.
fuck that.
We out of here.
Yeah. So
We gotta get to a fucking hospital.
yeah, especially Megsy. Well, like so Mugsy. Like, keep on saying Megsy. I'm sorry. 3 health.
He's dying, sir! Help!
There is a there was an excerpt when I was doing my research with I'll just put the map cover again with the with like just little bits of information. There was one about medical, about how long it takes to heal, and I was going to like copy and paste that and went, yeah, we don't have time, it's a one shot. People aren't going to like need to know about it takes X amount of weeks to heal a wound, like after proper medical like surgery. And it's like, no, it's a one shot. But like, yeah, it's a big one. But I think we've also pretty much had a time limit as well. I think-ish. Kind of, it's weird.
Yeah, we in the area.
Yeah, about 3 hours instead of 4.
What
but
is? Yeah.
we could have gone for an hour, but as I said, you've got a
I
time
don't know.
limit.
I want to know what's in that house.
Yeah.
So.
But you found pretty much everything. The only thing you didn't do is go to the basement.
I wanted to go to the basement.
Why do you think every time you did? Why do you think every time anyone said, "Let's go down here," I played that sound and said it's coming from upstairs?
She didn't want us to go down the basement.
Yeah. Well, it's not me. It's the person that's in the basement doesn't want you to go down in the basement. And when you did the extreme success on the listen spell, the rattling is something in that room, yes, but you wouldn't have heard that until you came into that room. And so sometimes when you pass a roll really, really well, it's a detriment in this game. Of course, everything's condensed. It's like the whole place is full of traps, like sanity traps and everything else, because it's a one shot. But at least you didn't have to roll lose D200 or D100 in sanity, because that's the thing.
Yep.
Well, so
Yep. What's in the basement?
What's
in the basement?
well,
What's in the basement?
then I'm not going to tell you because there's other people watching. I know you're watching. You can always pick up the free Quickstart rules from Chaosism. This is the Kickstart rules. This is also featured in previous editions, not just 7th edition. It's known as the Corbett House, or this version is the Haunting. So they made a new expanded Corbett House, and you can run it for other people. So, and that's why you can then learn what's in the basement if you're the GM or the keeper in this case. I will also say, when I did this for my friends, that's the same bedroom they all ran from.
This is fun. This is real fun.
Just the bedroom and all the blood starts coming down. It's like, nope, let's get out of this house.
That could have been anywhere. That could have been anywhere. It was the right time. You did well. You did more research than.
What was the?
Yep.
Okay. When we stop broadcasting, there's so many
You're
questions.
totally going to ask me, yes. So, what do you think of Call of Cthulhu? What do you think of this style of game and this style of play?
Really great, really great.
Super fun.
It's definitely a game. I'm breaking character now.
Yeah.
Finished. It's definitely a game where you've got to bring. You can't bring a character that you love. You just can't.
Yes.
It's kind of why I changed Kip so much. Because it's not Kip, it's Sergeant Kipper. Like I just wanted to do the Boston tough guy, motherfucker. But also it's like I think this game is a lot easier to role play because
For sure.
you're given prompts like the Mania. Like that was great because you're given prompts, and I like that.
Agreed.
And I do like it. Yeah, I love it a lot. It's great fun.
Yep.
It seems like over a campaign, like characters will change in so many different ways. That seems really cool to me.
On that, as you go insane, there are rules for your as you go insane. Insanity is a major part of the whole system. Like it's really integrated into the system, wherein there's the manias as well, the short-term manias and the short-term insanities. Like this is how, like in the main rulebook, it actually details what they are. Like you can actually understand what each one of them are, what it means for all these different types of insanities. It's how I learnt these things as a child. Great. But as you talk about characters changing over time, as you go insane, the GM actually changes your backstories as you're getting more and more insane, as you're losing grasp of your reality. Your background gets changed on you. Like you may lose a friend, like that person just never existed in your life, and you just or you may have been an only child, but you remember all these siblings. And you start talking about all these siblings and friends and like things that never existed. Or if you've got a foreign language skill, and you may just forget that because you've never been to that place, as your background changes. And you may pick up another language instead. Or think at least you pick it up. So yeah, it can really, really... What I like about the system is like the fact you can push a roll and take the same situation and just go, okay, I'm going to do this style instead. Like the library use...
That ended up really, really badly with the basement.
Yes. There's things like that where if you push, like sometimes the ramifications are less, like just being kicked out of a location, you won't be able to do any more rolls, sure. But when there's a physical side effect, yeah, like if you fell, you just would have taken less damage. You would have taken half the damage that you both did. But because you both helped other people, you had a better chance of succeeding, but you then bring someone else into that as well. And it's the same thing as like what I also like. I mean, it's a really devious way of doing GMing. Is like if you start explaining what you saw to other people in great detail. Like if you explained the bleeding walls in great detail and all that type of stuff, everyone else starts getting sanity checks if they start believing what you're saying. So it can really, it can amplify.
Everyone who's not done it before, look up the Old Man Henderson story. Because this is a story about someone's Call of Cthulhu character, and it's the funniest shit ever.
I think I've briefly read a long time ago. Yeah.
It's basically this guy who just absolutely fucked. He won. Call of Cthulhu is not a game you win. He won Call of Cthulhu with Old Man Henderson. Just this grouchy old man wearing like a ragged Hawaiian shirt, shorts, with a shotgun and a cap, just like a really old man, and he just completely took everyone for a ride. It's a fantastic story. I think it's Old Man Henderson.
Yeah. So other things about Call of Cthulhu, it is coming to Roll20 and getting fully supported. The rulebook's coming out, getting released in December, and they've got plans of releasing the Investigator's Handbook, which is the player's guide. And I can only assume if they're releasing 2 big books like that, the core systems, they're going to be releasing campaigns. I hope it's something like the Orient Express, which is an amazing long-running campaign. Mass of Nyarlathotep has been out for a little bit with 7th edition. It's fully supported with Syrinscape, the Mass of Nyarlathotep. We didn't really get to use much of that tonight. We used more of the generic 1920 stuff. But there's a lot of stuff there. And it's a simple system to just get into and run. Like, everyone here, I've got a little bit of primer for them to read before the show. We ran through it in 5 minutes. We pressed live and it's like, oh yeah, I've got to tell you, these are the rules. And that's how quickly it was. And we learned as we played. And if you don't like the horror side of things, there's also basic role-playing. Basic role-playing is also by Chaosism, which is essentially the core mechanics of Call of Cthulhu without the horror. And without any theme, so to speak. So you can play it as a fantasy theme, and they give you rules for magic systems. You can play it as sci-fi, and they give you rules for mechas and for ships and space combats and laser blasters and all that type of stuff. You can play it as modern day without the horror, but you can also put the whole like sanity or other systems in to work how you want to play the game. And it's really well written. It's a little bit outdated because it hasn't been updated to the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu rules, but it's still amazing and still runs really, really well. And you can just, the rules are so similar, you can just update it to the Call of Cthulhu style 7th edition rules with the levels of success, etc. So, so Call of Cthulhu, I really do. So who would like to do a Call of Cthulhu game? Anyone? Yeah, I would love to.
Give me that role
It's
playing.
so different from anything like Edric would ever do.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And I have to thank everyone here for dressing up. It's not, we don't dress up on the show.
I did it last minute.
I know.
I did it last minute.
Same.
And
I think we all did.
And I just had to. I've got my vest on. I've got my pinstripe vest and my white shirt and yeah. But then again, this is actually what I dress like when I go out. So yeah. And I didn't put my flight cap on because it wasn't appropriate. So
Guess
yeah.
you survived Call of Cthulhu, bitch.
I don't know about survive.
We all lived.
I don't know about survive. Well,
No,
let's see survived. Can you do an intelligence check with your character, please, to see if he realised how insane what he just saw with the blood? Because we didn't get to that part.
All right. Hard pass.
Which means you then know what went wrong again. So that these things then go to long-term insanities. This is where you'd be changing the backgrounds.
Yeah.
And that's 2 that you'd had.
Could I spend a luck point to add one to get to just a normal pass?
Yeah, those things. Yeah, and when you have a full running campaign, you have luck is a stat. You roll your 3d6, but you times it by 5. So you're looking at 50s and 60s, things like that. So you spend little bits over time, and you can get a little bits back. You can get sanity a little bit back. And it's a classless system, which I love the idea of. Level system. As you use your skills, they start, you tick them. At the end, they may or may not go up. And they slowly improve over time for long-running campaigns. It's very different from New D&D. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the donations, Porphy. Porphy Genesis. I got it right. Yay! I hope I got it right. So yeah,
And
we've got one more
for
show.
all you boys and girls out there, Happy Halloween.
Hang on. Oh.
I can't
Out
do
of the house, man.
I can't do that because my light's actually behind my monitors. But we do have one more show tomorrow. We're going to be playing this again. And we've got Mr. Live Producer. We have Peach. First time Peach has been back for a while, so that'll be great to see her again. And we've got Fox. Peach. Oops. Let's do that. First time Peach has been back for a while. Yeah. So we've got Peach, we've got Mr. Live Producer, we've got Fox, and we're also going to have Nick with Jabbersnatch, the blind cleric who wants to sacrifice everybody. So it's going to be bonkers. Yesterday was bonkers because it was all the goblins cast. Tomorrow with Nick having Jabbersnatch, I'm still tempted of just making Jabbersnatch a cultist because that's really exactly what Jabbersnatch is. A cultist. So yeah, you're absolutely screwed, Mr. Live Producer. Totally screwed. I actually wanted Nick to be in this group just to have Nick and Edric on the same opposition. Because I think it would work quite well. But that's not how it worked out. So yeah, so that's next. Let's get that one. And we'll probably do some stuff over the weekend and we're back to normal scheduling next week. For the most part. So thank you, everybody. Would you like to do your shout outs and like a... That's a no?
Sure. Yeah, I'll start. Hello, I'm Sky Blue Shinx, aka Marco. I play private investigator Jonathan Kipp, the insane detective. And I shall see you next time. Check me out on SoundCloud at Sky Blue Shinx.
Yeah. Edric. Capri Sunny D.
I'm playing something a little different tonight, you know. Thanks for coming and checking it out. Yeah. Come see us next week for the Children of the Mash.
Oh,
And check out Rusty Daggers and everything too.
Also, to anyone, to any American, New Yorker, Boston native, I'm so sorry.
So sorry.
Gosh, could you like? I know it's a little bit more work, but could you like cut that, clip it, and put it at the beginning of the video?
Yeah,
Definitely
that's work.
do that.
Nah, I'm not going to do that. But I just did the clip.
Yeah,
here.
I definitely lost mine at different points and went into much different accents. So
I tried. I think basically what I think in the beginning when it was like just research, it was terrible. But when I got into like the scary bit and was like doing it more softer, I think it was all right. I like to think so. Maybe.
I think you did all right.
My accent goes all over the place for Meg. I don't know what Meg's accent is.
British, you know.
Yeah, it does. It is.
Kind of British.
Bit Cockney.
Cockney. Sorry.
It's like Oliver Twist. Please, sir, can I have some more?
Please, sir, may I have some more?
More?
Very much so.
You want more?
More?
So, Amy, would you like to do who are you and your upcoming event? Because I know that's coming up soon.
Yes. Hi, I'm Emmy Rabbit, but you guys can call me Emmy. I was playing Muggsy, being the little assistant, but you can normally find me here on for Rusty Daggers playing Meg, the Goblin Bard. Always a lot of fun. But you can also find me over on twitch.tv/Gathering of Nerds, where we do D&D one-shots every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So that's in 5.5 hours. So if you want to catch another Halloween one-shot, we've got a D&D one going over on that channel. And in the following week or the week after?
It'll be close.
In 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we're going to be doing Shave for a Cure, which means that me and another girl Moxie or Jess, we are going to be shaving our heads for to raise money for the Leukemia Foundation. So you can there's information on how to donate on our Twitter, which is at Nerds Art Gathering. And but if you catch us on stream, we're more than happy to say, or you can catch me on Discord and I'll shoot you through a link.
Awesome.
So yep, that's
awesome.
We're doing a 12-hour stream. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, and lots of side things going on as well through that stream. So this is my name is Karsh Goblin. This is the Goblin Cave, and thank you for coming in. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. All the socials you can find on Goblin Cave TV, with our YouTube Goblin Cave RPG, and Twitter and all that type of stuff. Just go to Goblin Cave TV. Everything's there, including our merch store, where you can find stuff which you can help. Well, they're all actually not making any profit on the stuff, so just go buy it. It's good stuff. Helps promote the stuff. Helps promote all our shows in the channel. So it's great. And we're going to be raiding Wizard Hole, where they're currently playing a Shadowrun inspired cyberpunk TRPG called Null York City. And doing actual play. It's looking really interesting. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to have that directly after our credit roll. So we're going to start that now. Not No Eunuch, Null, Null. So let's bye everybody, and let's share the love. If you're a subscriber, something sharing the love, something. The hearts are wet or fresh or something along those lines. We don't have anything visual. So, bye.